Engage! On screen. On screen. What the hell is going on? Engage! I want all the power you can give me.
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
Not good enough, damn it! Not good enough! Any idea of what it is or where it came from?
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
This is no longer amusing.
They seem normal enough. I shouldn't be so confident.
Make it so. I would rather outthink them than outfight them. Engage! On screen. Let's investigate. Enlarge and identify.
Oh, I wasn't looking. It's all over you.
Yes, Hanson, it's all
I shouldn't be so confident.
Engage!
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
I want all the power you can give me. Strange.
Slow to impulse speed.
Stay calm, everyone.
What the hell is going on? I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
Stay calm, everyone.
Oh,
Let's investigate.
yes, it's for the children. I'm I'm a role model.
This is no longer amusing. Macro head. Stay calm, everyone.
Slow to impulse speed.
I would rather outthink them than outfight them. Engage!
Slow to impulse speed.
Strange.
Slow to impulse speed.
Not good enough, damn it! Not good enough! They seem normal enough.
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
I'm Captain Picard.
Hey, my name's Rachel Antrell. I play Commander Non on Star Trek Discovery. Welcome to Timeline Talks.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live in Technicolor from the beautiful Hollywood Hills, California. The show where the total retail price of their advice is $0. This is Timeline Talks. Featuring guest stars. The fact of the matter is, oh my, it's stars and garters. Also featuring, more like Command Dips Suck, look out, it's Automaton 2000. And now, there's no way he gets this intro right. Here's your host, Captain Idol.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Oh, there we go. It's not been a while since I messed up a show intro. Welcome to Timelines Talks, the premium exclusive #1 show for all things Star Trek timelines and other Star Trek paraphernalia. I am Captain Idol, and I am joined by my two wonderful co-hosts, Automaton 2000, who is donned some sort of thing on his head, and Stars and Garters.
Don't worry about it.
It's a what? What is that?
Never has my Command Dip Suck introduction been more applicable than this week.
That's it. Oh dear. Right, yes, this week we will be talking about the new... Yes, you are quite right there, General. Stars has fixed and got a new webcam. We have glorious Stars and Garters in full HD resolution. And I am here on the bridge of the Enterprise. I took advantage of the night shift to take a little sneaky stream.
Idol, I hate to tell you this, so you're going to hate me for this, right?
What?
So you get that kind of odd flickering effect because you've got your virtual background, right? And it's usually like localized behind... Yeah, whatever.
Localized entirely in his kitchen.
Yeah. And it gives you this like kind of odd shadowing effect, right? And every time you turn your head every now and then, it makes you look like you've got more hair than you do.
Oh, well, in which case, I love it more.
He's never getting rid of it now.
Yeah, this is dead. Fantastic. Yeah, I love you too. Yes, this week we will be talking about the new Mega. We will be talking about the bonuses for said Mega, the LTOs, what could be coming up ahead, what the campaign as well as the Tuesday packs and other things as well, and probably do some beholder meters along the way. First of all, we're paying tribute to the event winners. Congratulations, Suncoast's very own Booter. Bajoran claps all round. 5 of 5 rackable. O'Brien is yours. Congratulations. I think he took a significant enough lead in that to basically get some good... I think he was saying to us at one point, I managed to get about 10 hours sleep one night. I was like, congratulations to you. And it's such an unusual one with the faction skirmish as well, wasn't it? Which is a really weird one to kind of plan, really. I remember finding myself going, well, I'll run some boosts. And then when I ran the skirmish, I'm like... Why did I do that?
Yeah, no, you get one shuttle back in the time it takes to do one skirmish round, so it's like, yeah, I guess it's the difference of maybe about 5 minutes work for all, half of those shuttles, really.
And you only have to give up your life for 48 hours instead of 96. So
that's a bargain.
Yeah.
It's all good. Other names we noticed that are friends of the show. Nolian, number 5. Bry at number 7. Cranky, number 8. Siete, as always, at number 9. Gornophobe, number 10. Blue Angel, 17. We Are Borg, 19. Cold, 21. We got a lot of names this week. A popular crew. Cold at 21. Flash, 26. Evans of Wells, 28. Black Knight, 29. James T. Kirk, 42. The Cream King himself. The Cisco, 47. I believe Genos and shout out to Genos and Auto, you were somewhere in the sort of 60s and 70s range. You were up there enough for us to say, well done, to get your 3 copies.
I actually avoided the shout out at the end. I just drifted low enough.
51, just there.
Yeah, I have to point out, Idol, there's the same number of names every week. You just don't know them all.
There are definitely, yeah.
I don't know you, ergo I will not shout you out.
This is the thing. The more people, it's definitely got a bigger list. The more people we sort of share in, the more people have been coming in. Eventually, we will just read off the top 15. They'll all be in chat, and I will be happy. So, congratulations.
Okay, fair enough.
It's a good achievement to have. So I think it deserves a shout out. But I think everyone top 50 gets at least 3 copies. What is it? Top 30 is 4 copies, isn't it? Yeah. So, congratulations to everyone there. But now it is time to spin the wheel. For those that are not aware, every week we have a competition to submit show titles for this week's show. And congratulations to Cranky this week for getting the winning show title. But we will every person that submits gets a little segment on the wheel. We will spin the wheel. You can win a sub. You love this bit, don't you, Otto? You love it when I give my showman routine. Step up, name for the wheel.
What can I see?
All right, let's spin the wheel. Let's see what it's going. And yet again, another week I haven't got any music for it. Wide Brim! Congratulations, Wide Brim. You have won a sub this week.
Wide Brim.
Find out,
If you're in chat, speak up so I can find you and give you the sub. Because I don't know if I remember Wide Brim chatting before.
No, we'll see. We'll reach out to you. I know he's on our Discord, so we'll reach out. But yes, everyone, come join the Discord. Join the fun. All good things. One quick mention before we begin the actual show, before we begin the real meat of the discussion. Some good news, which hit just recently, is that Star Trek Discovery is now being shown internationally once again. Not on Netflix, it's being shown on Pluto TV. For everyone that doesn't know what Pluto TV is, it's an app you can get, which you can get loads of top channels. They've got a dedicated Star Trek channel, which is quite good. I think it is advert supported, isn't it? So you get that. But I think so, yeah. They are showing.
I want to say I actually tried Pluto TV through the offer wall once.
Oh really?
It was like $300 to watch for 15 minutes. I'm like, well, what the hell? It was actually, I swear to God, I'm not a shill. Actually, it was an enjoyable experience. Like, I found an old episode of Mork and Mindy, and I watched that for 15 minutes, and it was silky smooth. I'm like, damn, this is actually the best offer-all experience I've had. So
yeah, Pluto TV's got a good rep, but they have a dedicated Star Trek channel, so I'm sold anyway. But yes, they will be showing Discovery Season 4 on Pluto TV for everyone in the international market. So hooray! Our prayers have been answered, and I know a lot of the cast have sort of gone on Twitter to say that, yes, thank God for that, because they were a bit shocked to hear that news, weren't they?
Yeah, no, there are a few emojis posted with them like shouting obscenities, which I appreciated. I'm like, you know what? Thank you. You guys seem like pretty stand up.
They were probably Rogered. I'm not gonna let that one die.
Properly Rogered.
Janice wants to know what's on your shirt.
Oh, so this is gonna be hard to show, but it's Geordie, and it says, "I got 99 problems, but a warp core breach ain't one."
Nice.
I should get more Star Trek shirts, really. I am a big enough nerd.
Yes, I've just got some volume adjustments to do. Otto, please talk us through the Lee Nala situation, which continues to evolve week by week as it goes on.
Yeah, well, this is a quick thing. They nerfed him the day after his event. Not by much. It was like 30, 40 proficiency points. But of course, they didn't announce it. So we found that out, clapped back and said, "What you doing?" And they said, "Oh, yeah, it was an accident. We'll fix it." And so they did fix it. Lee Nellis is now like 2 voyage points stronger than he was before. So they did fix it. The most important thing to me is our good buddy No Name Namer, who is getting very close to automating the show completely, by the way, has come up with...
Oh, yeah. Can you do that as well?
a little announcement bot in our Discord to let us know when stuff like stats and traits get changed stealthily. So hopefully we can bring all those to you going forward as well.
Yeah, it is something that sort of happened. They haven't said... The one thing that bugs me is I would like... I think I said this last week, but I think I would love just a changelog of just what happens. But we came... In the end, like, the players have to kind of go, that's different. Have you changed it? And then in the end, they go, oh, yeah, we did. And it's like, well, no, it should be the other way around. You should tell us.
Yeah, no, basically WRG is like the hand on the mouse, and we're the cat paw saying, don't do that. And then they go,
Fantastic. So yeah, that's changed. Shall we talk about the cultural figure mega, which is now starting this not this week, next week, with the arrival of Lieutenant Sahil, with Prophet Kira, with Quarren of the Kyrian. Strange name we have there. But yes, cultural figure crew will be bonuses for all week, as well as Lieutenant Sahil, not regular Sahil, who we'll go on to later. But should we have a chat about the order of events, which is interesting because this is another, in my eyes, this is another positive, like, order. Because we know we've had gripes about previous mega orders kind of being not as great, but this one seems to sort of take advantage a little bit more of what you can do. So bearing in mind we have a lot of crew that aren't cultural figure people in a cultural figure mega. I think running with the
we'll
faction
get to
first.
that.
Yeah, we will get to
Don't
that.
worry.
We have a faction first.
Wait.
Go on.
Are you telling me that in a WRG produced Mega we're having crew who don't have the traits associated with the Mega? That just doesn't seem right to me.
It's never happened before. Oh wait.
That's unprecedented.
By the way, we'll cover this when we get to them, but the crew you can win in next week? Not this week, but the week after. Ancient Humanoid, they will be adding the cultural figure trait to them. So we'll get to that later, but just be aware if you don't see it on your in-game right now, they'll be adding that if that helps make them a little more attractive. Yeah, so the event lineup is Faction, Galaxy, a hybrid Faction Galaxy, and then a skirmish at the end. And not to disagree with my beloved esteemed co-host, but I would actually flip that. Skirmish at the beginning so you can level your crew. And then you get to use the ones that you've got in week 1, 2, and 3 at the end in a faction. So that would kind of be my ideal, but
The reason
it's a mix of everything. So
yeah, the reason I like skirmish at the end is because the last one is generally for a crew you might need. So having a skirmish there where you're going for a crew you want an extra star on at the 1/500 rank and also getting some honor as well. I kind of like
so
that.
purely selfish motivations.
Oh, absolutely. Why else do we play this?
Well, speaking of
Play this for the
selfish
greater
motivations, it also means he doesn't have to level crew as much, because if he had to level up all his cultural figures, then he'd actually make a dent in his backlog.
What are you trying to say? I feel Shunza. Where's that kick button? Yes. Shall we talk about the elephant in the room, as it were, in this... oh, hang on, the wheels just popped up. Let me get rid of that. There we go. Lieutenant Sahil.
No, spin it again.
Yeah, spin it again. Fuck it. We'll run. Yeah. Lieutenant Sahil is arriving as the Mega Legendary, to which most people kind of go, who and what and why, but also, he's Void rank number bloody 2. He's
hold on.
Bit of a monster.
Before we get into the stats, we are bringing back a critically acclaimed fan favorite. How long do I need to vamp before you have it set up?
I'm ready when you are.
Okay, we're going back to the good old episode recap bit, so buckle up, folks.
In a world where Latinum is king, 3 men, 1 desire, to share stories that are beyond belief. But what happens when the absurd becomes real? An airlocked Inglatu, appearing in crew quarters, failed voyages, reviving themselves. A behold, with 3 Lucians, seeing Dilemma Part 3 at hour 6. These and other unbelievable stories that you'll only find here on Timelines Talks episode recap.
So yes, we will be detailing in vast detail the complete events that leads this variation of Sahil into the game. So shall we... In fact, I'd just like to play you... I'm just going to play you the entire clip that he's from, the entire episode that he's from, the complete conclusion of Sahil. Well, that was a good bit, wasn't it? There we go. Right, moving on. Sahil stats.
I tell you what, the depth with which they pulled that masterpiece off, the gripping drama, and the sheer length of that bad boy was unbelievable. I'm so glad we have this recurring mega of such elite stature in Lieutenant Sahil.
And, you know, to be the number 2 Voyager for a man that's travelled from one starbase to another, to be the number 2 Voyager.
Now, to be fair, in terms of the significance of the distance he's travelled, to him, he probably feels like the number 2 Voyager in the galaxy.
Oh, it's personal voyage
if
ranking,
the snail
is it?
makes it across the room, right?
Sahil is the actual embodiment of that that meme going around of the guy who's like spraying the champagne bottle everywhere, kissing all the girls, and he's like 3rd on the podium.
He's Lieutenant Junior grade, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant. Okay.
I should have been ready with this flavor text. Damn it.
It's fine.
Yeah,
we'll just wait.
It's okay.
How you doing, Idol?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
That's not how you vamp. All right. By the way, this is actually pretty good flavor text, so I'm going to give it its due. Officially commissioned as lieutenant, Sahil's dedication to upholding the ideals of the United Federation of Planets is recognized. That's pretty good flavor
pretty good.
text.
And to be fair,
That's pretty decent.
They were kind of padding the word count on the essay a little bit with United Federation of Planets, but I'll accept it.
in all seriousness, though, I do quite like Sahil, and I do like this scene, because it is a scene. He's a one-hit wonder, but I like that he had that little bit of redemption from his opening scene of Disco Season 3, to actually gets a bit of... There's a closure to his arc that actually closed off, rather than just goes, well, we're just going to leave you on that space station forever. So I did quite like... And I like he's represented as a card.
Well, it's a nice bit of thematic, beginning of ending for the season, because the entire theme of the season is trying to bring the fractured parts of the Federation together, and what better way to show that than by bringing someone who is the ultimate idea of isolation into the fold and being part of something greater. And it's that's still a good thing. I definitely agree with the people who say he probably shouldn't be Voyager rank number 2. That is a bit odd.
That being said, I'm not going to sneeze at it, and I'm not going to sneeze at 5 copies of a number 2 Voyager, even if he is Dip Command Sec, even if he is that common skill set. I'm not... Look,
we put in the money to trademark it. You have to call it Command Dip Sock.
Yeah, right? That's true. That's your trademark. I give you the honor of that.
You get 3 whole Genos bucks every time you say it.
Right, I'm going to cut in here. Gornophobe says, Idol, you sure do go far and beyond with all the work you do. He sure as hell does, let me tell you. Because both Stars and I are tied up with other things mostly during the week. And so, all the images stuff and the LCARS and the setting things up. It's the Captain Idol. It's Idol's world. We're just living in it. There you go.
I do it because I enjoy it. It's fun. If I get free time, I'll work on some stuff on this, and it's fun to do. It's nice to having years of before lockdown happened, and years I was I need to get a project, need something to do, and actually have something that's Star Trek related that I can grit my teeth into. Is great. But anyway, enough about me. Yes, okay.
The Idol Show, starring
Idol. This is. I can't take compliments. I'm rubbish at it. I'm absolutely atrocious.
Featuring Idol's friend and Idol's other friends.
It's like at the end of Galaxy Quest where they crash land and they're like, Captain Idol and a friend.
We're friends? Okay, anyway, I thought I paid you.
All right, so Sahil is a good Voyager. This has been something we've been chatting about a little bit lately with crew like Drink, Dreamwalker Chakotay, and Daemon, Solak, etc. You can't make a good Voyager on skill set alone, but you can make a good Voyager on power alone. So even though it's a bad skill set, great power is going to be... I was about to plug the big book, but it's not live yet. You can see that he should be in the top 20 still in about 2 years from now. So that's pretty damn good return on investment if you want to sign him up, especially if you guys listening are probably going to get these 4 copies for quote-unquote free. So I was all ready to spool into a big old, this isn't a Discovery Sucks rant, but Sahil being the number 2 Voyager. But you guys are with me, so I don't have to do that whole rant. So I think I watched 3 episodes in that season, and then, of course, the 2 of them had Sahil, the first one and the last one. So I'm like, did I miss something in the middle where he's changing the galactic balance and they have to make him a great recurring mega? But
no, it's the equivalent of making, say, a Barclay card your number... I say Barclay card, an actual Reginald Barclay card.
Probably right.
For everything else, Barclay card.
I just need a little a debit card that's got Barclay's face on it.
Oh
yeah. God, that's stupid. It's like you would create a Reginald Barclay as your number 2 Voyager when he had just appeared in Hollow Pursuits. It's that kind of level of prominence being given to a character who's relatively minor. But then again, if you look at the top 30 of Voyager rank, it's not exactly a star-studded cast. It's a lot of memorable people, but not necessarily people who are main cast a lot of the time.
The site can't be reached.
we talked about trying to look up porn while you're on the show, man.
Okay, so
in the space.
Shows your hands.
So the previous mega was Luau Q, dip, command, suck. Lieutenant Sahil, dip, command, sec. So it's like...
Yeah.
It's one thing if you're doing, like we talked about last week, if you're releasing Lara, Great Gauntleteer, and then you release Profiteer right after, you have a little bit of the paid versus free thing. But in this case, you're kind of undercutting the hype of like your own past megas, which...
I had this conversation with you earlier in the week. I was just like, should I put a site on Luau Q? And you were just like, he is going to go so far down in the next few weeks. Like, this is... Don't waste your time.
I do want to say
go where many cards have gone before. He will go there.
I want to say some positive things about Discovery, because I never do. But first I'm going to complain.
Brace yourself.
If they would have made this Captain Burnham, or a lot of people were asking for Admiral Vance...
Yeah.
Like, does the universe implode if you swap Captain Burnham and Lieutenant Sahil's stats? No. But you're going to create a lot of buzz, a lot of people talking about, oh, Burnham, new card, she's really good. It's the captain. It's like the culmination of her 4-year journey. She's in the big seat and all this stuff. Instead, we're like, why are they giving it to some guy who sat in a room for 40 years without moving? So it's, they undercut themselves a little bit.
It's to provide inspiration for people like myself who also sit in rooms for 40 years without moving.
One day you too could be lieutenant.
All right, but what I do want to say is...
Kim!
What I do want to say is I love these uniforms. I'm not a big uniform guy, and I'm not a big, like, the quick change artist, just, new uniforms just to have new uniforms, but these are pretty damn sharp. I watched... no spoilers, I watched the first episode of season 4, and we see Tilly, who's in a crew in the game now, with the same sort of snazzy, like the offset bottom there,
they
and the
switch
stripe
up
of
the colours,
collar.
don't they? Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
so I just like the aesthetic is really cool, and the blue suede shoes match, and he seems like a nice guy standing there smiling. So,
in fact, you know what? Can we give them props? This is really lovely art, because this is like it's a very uplifting moment in the episode, and I feel like they captured it very well here. He has a lovely smile, like that. It's like you're going to be a bit a case of, it's like, why is he number 2 Voyager? But in terms of crew that you are going to be shoving onto your voyage regularly, at least he's nice to look at, unlike some orange people I could mention.
That's true. And we do have, I was going to say Barry Lee, but Voyager's our lead here. He's got a couple of collections. And maybe Communicators, a third one can hit. I don't think anyone is on the Human Federation Starfleet train, so he has, let me check quickly, all 6 of his traits are antimatter traits as well. So any permutation of Command Obsec, and probably a few other ones too, just because of the raw power, he's going to make lots and lots of seats for you. You're going to use them a lot. Good art.
Yeah. Do you know what the good part of this conversation is? It's like when we usually talk about this in, when we talk about high Voyagers, we talk about them in respect for a Tuesday card or, ranking for them. This isn't that conversation. This is just like, everyone's going to get him 4 or 5. Put a fucking sight on him if you're not doing recaps. Like,
you can literally mess around for half an hour and get him in a week. That's that easy.
This is as good news as his smile. Like, this is...
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong.
I like that. That's nice. That's cute. That's awesome.
There's nothing wrong with this card being a common skill set if they're going to give him away. Like, this is... I can't... We can complain so far, but I can't complain too... You know what I'm trying to say. Like, this is... There's always going to be an if and a but with every card, but, not everyone can be Braxton, even if they do come close.
So, I have a thought on this. So, in the past, month or so, they've given us how many, top sort of 30, 40 Command Dipsec Voyagers? I can only imagine that's probably going to... we've got number 2 here at this point. I can only imagine we're going to see number 7, 9, 15, 12. Do you think... what do you think the logic is in their mind of giving so many crew these monster stats with this bad skill set? Is it just a case of they don't feel like it dilutes the card in any way? Or do you think it's more of a case of they want everyone to have a card from a series that they can have regularly used in this skill set? Like, if you don't like Discovery, here's Kira. If you don't like DS9, here... Well, we still wouldn't like Leonalis, but like that kind of... Is that maybe the logic? Because otherwise I struggle to see what you accomplish by just regularly pumping it out in the exact same format as well, with the same order, everything.
I don't know if I totally agree with that, because we just had Ragabal Bashir. He's 13th overall. Hollow Engineer Zimmerman, 16th overall. Ancient Humanoid, Psi Primary, 9th overall. So they're doing all right with other skill sets, but I think if we can think back to when Dexa debuted, like, holy crap, it's been like 4 years since we've had a Med Voyager this, because certain skill sets they do tend to shy away from,
which is
and like we've covered a million times. I'm always a fan of, if you can avoid Command IPSec, you should probably try to, and they seem to lean the other way, but
I saw a lot of people theorizing that, Sahil, he could have Psi, he could have Eng. Like, there's an aspect to something he could have that isn't maybe security.
If
security
he's
seems
manning
the here.
If he's manning the communication station on his own for 40 years, like, you can imagine a little bit of engineering in there, sure. So.
I mean, you say that we have how many Uhura variants that don't have anything other than Command IPSec, so, you know.
Yeah, we're kind of picking nits here, because this is the recurring Mega big-time crew, but I think, if we're giving grades, this is probably like an A- for me.
Absolutely.
Crew,
yeah.
Pretty good aesthetic, just...
See me.
Why not go with Burnham or something? I don't know.
Yeah. Representation is important, and
don't worry, they're saving Voyager spot number 1 for red uniform Captain Burnham.
What would you call it though? This is the thing with Captain Burnham. She should have been called Promoted Burnham, which means they could have brought in red uniform Burnham as Captain Burnham. So I don't know what they're going to call. It's interesting.
I'm sure they'll find something. Conflicted Burnham. There you go.
Determined Burnham.
Yeah, Determined Burnham.
Blue Steel Burnham. I don't know.
What is that the name that is it Blue Steel or Blue Magnum that he calls his look in Zoolander?
It's Blue Steel, yeah.
It's Blue Steel.
I think he's also got Magnum. There you go. Save the world again, Burnham. Thank you, number 1 event winner Booter Suncoast for that one.
I mean,
you guys can't deny it.
No, I can't
like
deny
it's a little
it,
bit of disco shade, but
no, I can't deny it either, because every Starfleet captain saves the world regularly.
Sometimes not even their own.
Look, before Burnham, no one was heralded as a prophet, as a near demigod. The entire planet's worship. That never happened before Burnham. Okay?
Picard literally went down to a planet and was worshipped as a god and was kind of the
That's not your book.
That never happened.
Anyway,
here's the Picard. Oh, I watched that one recently. That's a good episode. I like that.
That's a really fun episode. Yeah. The bit with the where he explains to oh god, I can't remember her name, but like when they go to the sick bay and and they go to sick bay and they watch one of the survey team die, and he has to explain even our people die. It's like, that's a really good emotional scene. I like that. Anyway, cultural figures, Mega.
Now we should have a big counter on screen. We are 0 for 1 for cultural figures right now in the cultural figure Mega. So let's continue.
No, what's Prophet Kira? She's not either.
No.
That's right. 0 for 2.
0 for 2, yeah. So, speaking of, shall we move on to... Do you want me to follow the show notes, or shall we talk about Ancient Humanoid?
Yeah, let's keep rolling.
Okay, let's keep rolling.
What are you talking about? We don't have show notes. We just do a solo stuff because we're just like good and practiced.
Oh yeah, we just rock up about 8:29 and just rock on out. Quarren of the Kyrian, oddly named super rare crew that you'll be able to win next week in the event. Psi and Eng and Dip from the very good episode. Oh god, I've forgotten it. The one with Warship EMA and damn it.
Living Witness.
Thank you. That's the one. Yeah, it's very good.
Great episode.
Who are we missing?
Quarren was able to re-examine everything he knew about Voyager, and his discoveries, mind you, he's not an investigator, and his discoveries lead to an understanding between the Kyrians and Vaskins.
So who are we missing from Living Witness now?
Kim.
We've got Kim.
Mm-hmm. Kim, he does some interrogating in that scene.
Could Seven be a thing? Could Seven be technically? Because that's just Borg 7, isn't it?
Yeah, she's bullshit. We could just call her Warship 7 and like have her in a different pose. They've done that before. Do we see Torres in that episode?
No, actually, I was just reading about that today in Memory Alpha. She was not feeling so well because she just gave birth, and so
more than
I think she was in the original script, and then they had to
Scratch that.
Fun fact, Roxanne Dawson, who you may know as plays Belana Torres, was actually directing a couple of episodes of the Foundation TV series, which has been on, I think it's on Apple at the moment. So I was watching the final 2 episodes, and it's like, oh, directed by Roxanne Dawson. I was like, literally, Leo pointing at the screen and went, I know that person. But yes, Quarren of the Kyrian. Why he's called Quarren of the Kyrian is a bit of an odd one.
No, we were just paused about Sahil, so I got to go in the other direction. Okay. This card, so far, is an abomination. A, they misnamed the art file, so they couldn't pull it up in time to debut the card. B, there's literally no other character in Trek called Quarren. There's a species called Quarren, but they could have just called him Quarren. Quarren of the Kyrian is like, it doesn't roll off the tongue.
It's a bit TOS, isn't it? I am Quarren of the Kyrian.
That's true. He needs to have some like evil mustache or something. By the way, he also plays Jadon from the Drumhead, and he plays one other character, which I think we have now two of the 3 actors' characters in Trek. So that's kind of cool. I hope we get Jadon someday. And 3 or C, his traits are an abomination. 2 of them are flat out wrong, and they forgot like 5 others. So, like you said, it's a good episode. If you watch,
is there some kind of thread that I could post to if I find that there are or traits that are out of order?
Certainly not. Ooh. Voyage dilemma. Hold on.
Take the left option. I hope you get replicate rations.
I'm a real gamer.
Where Earth meets sky, destroy!
Yeah, it's always destroy.
So this is not... Like, as a card, what is he offering you right now? Nothing. Those are super niche traits that are not even right. But the most exciting thing about this crew, they added a new trait to the game, Historian. And so we talked about that a lot in Discord. Right now, there are 2 Historians in game. Marla MacGyver's from Space Seed. She fell in love with Khan or whatever. And then Alik Ohm, the big bird guy from the animated series. So those are the only 2 technically historians, like, had that role. But there's a lot of... We were talking about... I think, Stars, you and I were talking about a lot of the backstory to the Picard series and how Picard wrote a lot of historical books. And so that could definitely tie in. So I'm interested to see where they go with this trait. Like, they're already having a lot of trouble with traits lately. Adding another one to the pile seems kind of like...
Has Historian been
a little bit ambitious,
ballsy?
Has it been? Is it? I'm just trying to build up the game, but is it in the market? Is it in the Celestial market? Is that a Polestar? I can't say I've seen it.
Chat, have any of you? Well, hold on. It's Historian's only on 1 character, so you would have to have his constellation and then open it
until it's added to the other characters. No,
you just said it was on Marla and Alik.
No, I mean they are historians in Trek.
They should have it. Right. Okay. Sorry, missed that part.
So
that means that, technically speaking, I should be going out and buying Marlon MacGyver's constellations before they change them, and then make a big profit.
I mean, maybe.
Invest in Marla. Get your historians in. So you can get this exclusive Quarren of the Kyrian, because all of those are super rare crew who you're never going to retrieve. So, okay, what about gold? Any gold historians out there? Who do you reckon?
No, like I said, like Picard in number 1 would probably be the easiest one to attach it to. We were talking a little bit about Temporal Agent Daniels, even though he's not like a historian. A lot of the stuff, like when they're time traveling in Enterprise, Archer's reading the history books behind him. They're chatting a little bit about Federation history. I think there's 1 or 2 others you apply it to, but let's not go down that rabbit hole until we see what they're doing with this trait. But
I'm glad they're bringing in new traits that aren't just racial. They are thinking about other things they can add rather than just going, right, these are the only traits we have now. That's quite nice to know.
Well, we talked recently, again, this is another Stars and I discussion, I think. So I should probably let him talk for once. But we were saying, okay, these really boring crew that have like Human Federation Starfleet and then maybe 1 other trait. I think Morgan Batesman, all they could possibly think to give him was casual. Think Cadet Sylvia Tilly, all they could possibly give her was theoretical engineer. Like, and chat, weigh in on this. If you could add like a whole new trait that's not a racial thing, I swear it's not a racial thing. If you could add like a whole new trait, like determined or or thoughtful or whatever you want to think, that could maybe apply to this crew that it's really hard to find them an existing trait. What kind of trait what do you think? What kind of crew would you want to apply it to?
Powerful hair.
Well dressed as an opposite of costume.
Well dressed would be quite good, actually. Yeah.
So my thought on this one was the opposite of veteran, which would be like greenhorn, and you can basically give that to cadets and ensigns like Carrie and Tilly to differentiate them from veteran, and that'd be an interesting sort of flip on that.
I like Boota's idea. They could do ranks. Yeah, could just ensign, captain, commander. You know, that would be. It's very boilerplate, but it could add a bit of.
Those actually are already hidden traits, so that might take them less work to.
Made them visible.
Oh, pioneer's good. I like that. Is that?
Yeah, because that
pioneer explorer.
Yeah. Patient.
No, because pioneer does imply you're the very first to do it.
It's kind of
so that'd be a lot of enterprise
crew.
First to max trait.
That's for the players. Yeah. What if the players could get traits? And that would affect. Oh, that's a different ballgame. That is. Okay, let's move on to the gold you can win next week.
Stars and Garters, historian, lazy, kind of stupid.
Actually,
okay, I think they got the wrong traits on you, sir.
Yeah. We need to revise that. You're certainly not a historian. Ancient human.
I have a degree. Fuck you.
Oh, do you? I didn't know that.
I do, asshole.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's Celsius, all right? So fuck off.
Yeah. We need to have a historical discussion at some point. Meanwhile, talking of ancient history from pasts unknown, Ancient Humanoid is coming next week in the event. Psi Dip Command, and again, another impressive voyage score, number 9, which is definitely in that latter end of who I want her.
Later losers.
Them, I believe they are androgynous.
So this is... And if you guys have watched recently, you'll probably make the connection. But this is played by, I believe, Salome Jens is the way it's pronounced.
This is Changeling Founder that you want.
This is the lady who played the Changeling Founder in the latter seasons of DS9. So
she has a very distinctive voice. So the instant you've heard Changeling Founder, you'll be like, "Oh, that's instantly who it is." Yeah.
Trait multicast. Yeah. So if you do like a character who is played by someone who like across multiple series, that's sort of breaking the fourth wall, but it would be cool.
And Hanson,
I also
musician, but there you go.
You know what? You could give them the trait changing face for any character who got recast.
Oh yeah.
One of the oldest sentient species, and possibly the first humanoid species to evolve in the Milky Way galaxy. Once again, they're hitting that word count. In the Milky Way galaxy, on an ancient planet. We're getting some beefy flavor text. They're really...
They're hearing you sing their praises and like, I can get some of that sweet karma.
Just clipping that every time and putting it on replay in their office and just listening to all the flavor text as you read it as it goes round and round.
God, can you imagine? Like, how sad must that working environment be if they're listening to Timeline's talks?
Well, maybe they're in our demographic of what, like 34 to 50-year-olds, and they need some help getting to sleep.
All right. If someone is listening, guys, capitalize the first letter of the first word in a sentence, please. All right. So this is another power hitter, the number 1 Psi-base in the game, knocking off the aforementioned Picard in number 1. A top 10 Voyager. The skill set is pretty common, but even so, it's probably a pretty good permutation of it. You're going to use her, if not every day, a few times a week. On any roster, good Voyager, good base. The traits are, so like we said, they are adding cultural figure later. And, we could quibble, because that's like my thing lately, quibbling about traits. You could add 1 or 2 more, but if it's just these 5, she would have 2 collections with survivalist cultural figure, and the other ones are not so bloated that they can't be something. Hologram has 10 events already on its own. It's a very popular trait with WRG. Geneticist, which is very small. It's like Bev Crusher and no one else. And then Communicator, which... this makes us 1 for 4 for cultural figure crew in the cultural figure mega. So this is a win top to bottom. The art, by the way, I'm going to stop talking in a second so you guys can tell me how good the art is. I like it.
Stunning.
Yeah, no, I think it's quite good. Like, guess what? She's orange, but she should be because she was orange in the episode. We're getting further and further away from that.
I wouldn't say she's aggressively orange. I'd say this is the right amount of tone for what the character was.
Exactly.
The show.
It's like I look at her and I'm like, yeah, no, that's different from Hollow Engineer Zimmerman.
Yeah.
And I quite like the texturing on the dress and stuff like that. Like it's just quite a nice, simple, utilitarian look. I like it.
Nice amount of shadow on there as well. I mean, for all we know, they just took the photo and retexturized it, but it's a nice amount of shadow.
No, we already saw that. That was First Contact Barkley. We already know what that looks like.
I mean, if we get this instead of the Hansons, then copy away, my friend.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm actually fine with it. We want the show. We want it to represent the show that we watch, and that's the best way you do it. So yeah, no, I really want this group, like both, because I love the chase. The chase is a brilliant episode. It's
good fun.
Yeah. And actually, there's a few other characters I want from the chase, like the Gull O something, the female Cardassian.
Osset or whatever.
Osset, yeah. I want her in the game. Like, she was one of my favorites. Like when I watched that episode. And who's the Klingon in that?
He's the one who tries to have that headbutting match with Data and loses instantly.
Now, there's a fusion card.
There's a fan edit. Oh, is it called Episode in Brief or is it a different one? There's a fan edit of this episode where it's just the Klingon headbutting Data and then he falls down. And then he gets back up and goes, aha! And he headbutts him again. And it's like 40 seconds of him just trying to win a headbutting match against Data. So...
Kyrian says, unfortunately, as always with events, I never get ranked legendaries. This is a faction. If you've got a good stock of boosts and a good stock of tokens, this might be achievable for you. Like this, never say never.
Yeah.
Have a chat with people in our Discord. There was a good discussion about faction strategy in a timeline sort of Discord earlier this week. So worth having a chat. Some guys in there that can definitely help you. So please come along and have a talk.
Faction also requires the least amount of time. I mean, relatively. You're not kind of chained like a skirmish. So if you can save up your 3-star boosts, even the few requisition shows you get from like free campaigns and stuff, I think you can do it. I mean, if you have a busy life, it's not the easiest, but for crew like this that you would use every day, it's, just try your best.
All you need is 1 star, and then you can just start, and then you can just like finish them off later. Like it really is just like that simple. You don't have to go for the 750, even though it's nice to have that discounted.
I think factions, they usually 1/500 is usually about 800, 900k, something like that.
Well, it's going to be variable.
Obviously it's variable, but I think I've seen it's lower than a skirmish would be, or a galaxy where people could just take a day. So and there's people have got more patience with a faction event than others.
Now, I have to ask a question. I don't know. Do either of you two have Socrates, or Socrates as he's known?
I do.
Yes, I do.
So, how do you feel looking at the ancient humanoid? Do you feel happy about your Socrates?
Is she the same skis? I haven't actually looked at the stats.
Different order.
Yeah, I feel fine because that was a 50% art purchase. I just love it.
Yeah,
I love it. Art, so.
That's fair then. That's a fair justification. I can understand it.
How did I get my Socrates?
In fact, you know what?
I got him from 490 packs, I think. I got all 5 from that.
You know what? If you put him on the same bridge crew as her, and then a few other crew, like Adira Towel, you could have an entire bridge crew of just people in like pure blinding white, and it looks like they're having a really weird conversation.
Reader's chorus. There it is. You can make your own Reader's chorus.
Because then you've got her going like that, and then Socrates is like, oh, they're like having a conversation, and Adira's like, I'm just gonna sit here with my towel and take it easy. I'm sure there's someone else we can find who is wearing.
I am passion, the anarchy of lust. Dude, I rewatched that Riva episode. It is 80s in the best way.
On the stats front, I mean, Socrates is only about 80 voyage points less than Ancient Humanoid. There's not a huge gap. She starts with a Psi primary, he has Dip primary. Like, I feel fine with that. Like, I've got him immortal. I'm making a lot of, but no. This is power creep. We wanted power creep, don't we? We want power creep in the right areas.
As Pulaski says, we're all jigging madly on the head of a pin anyways. So what's 1% more on your Voyagers, you know?
But no, do you know what I like? I like about these last few weeks. I like with Prophet Kira, with Ancient Humanoid, Sahil, and Hollow Engineer Zimmerman, is we are getting cards we want to get. We're getting cards that actually have some power use when we get and sight. If I've got cards I'm looking at that I've got some sights to finally put on something useful, not just my bloody Abraham Lincoln just so I can finish a couple of collections because I'm that player now. It's nice to have the option, and that's what we kind of have been sort of stamping on the floor for a little while now.
Let's bump that on the list, up the list, because we've talked about power a lot lately. The last month has been good, but before that we had like 6-7 months of solid like garbage outside of Scapegoat O'Brien. Is there light at the end of the tunnel? Have we arrived at the station? Are these?
Don't say it. Don't say it. We're gonna go back to having Voyager 300s. Don't tempt fate.
I like. I mean, okay, I can see why they wouldn't put a powerhouse out every week, and every now and then. I would just like the balance. I would like, for instance, I would like the Lieutenant Sahil to say, right, okay, he's Voyager 200 and whatever, I can get it. And like Otto says, Captain Burnham comes up and she's Voyager number 2. That makes sense. I would like a little consistency to what the main characters being the powerhouses. Your fan favourite characters you want to see on the screen every day when you're tapping the Voyagers or putting them out on shuttles, as opposed to maybe lesser characters who people can be affiliated with, who can have feelings for, but I think there's a little we wanted the power creep, we really did, and this is nice. Keep going.
So I had to take a bit of umbrage with that idea. I wouldn't want all the best Voyagers to be just main cast, because that gets boring real quick, and we already have like how God knows how many like Picards in like the top 20 or whatever. I like a bit of variation, and yes, it is a bit odd that someone like Captain Braxton's been number 1 for so long, but having a few oddities in there, and especially if they're maybe they only appeared in one episode, but if they're especially significant or had a big effect on the show in some way, I feel like that's perfectly valid. I wouldn't want it to be all main cast, because the idea also is that not every card can be everything for every crew. Sometimes you have to sacrifice a bit of voyage power or base so that you get good regular event chances. I feel like that's a decent trade-off, and you shouldn't always have it hyper-localized on one card in your kitchen at this time of the day.
I mean, they've got to try to sell as many crews they can, though.
Yeah.
So you have to break up the crew that people want and the stats that people want, and try to get them to go at both at the same time. I'm with Stars on this one. I like Chakotay and everything, but if he's going to have kind of meh crew so that we can have these bit players actually usable, that's fine with me. If they did a beloved Timotson, and we got a big-ass Voyager in David Ogden Steers, great actor. He's passed on. If I could use him every day, that would be fantastic. Unfortunately, I'm never going to use him for anything ever, which is, kind of sad. And I've bandied about this idea before about transmogrification. What is it called in World of Warcraft? Where you can switch stats with existing crew. Put the skin, put the crew, the name, the image that you want on a big stat crew. Then you can use whoever you want all day long. And I think in that case, then you definitely have people going for both stats and images or names, so that you can combine and build your own number 1 Voyager, which I think would be fun. So that's kind of a pie in the sky, but
to be fair, all they have to do is change the art location and the name. You just have to say it is now this art name, right? And essentially it's the same thing. Maybe the item build as well, because it'd be a bit weird equipping, say, like Sahu's alarm clock onto a.
But here's the thing: is then it becomes less of a card collecting game, isn't it? If you just if you take out the portrait of your your Babe Ruth card and stick it onto your other card so it has that card stats. It's not really the same thing, is it?
It takes away a bit of the novelty of actually earning that card for what it is, as opposed to what I imagine. Okay, I can kind of see that. I can kind of see your points. Like, you want the niche. I just think like and I'm thinking from like a marketing point of view, like who's jumping in the game now for Sahil and who's jumping in the game now for Picard or Burnham. Like that's the kind of how I look at it. Like, you know, I am a sort of traditionalist, and like, you know, I like my main cast at the top and I like my bit players to be further down the credit list. That's just me. But you know, I can see that as well.
They could also, because we talked, I mean, they have a breadth of. It's not that broad, but they have a breadth of systems. If you want to have your one-offs be Gauntlet crew, so you can still look at them and use them, that's an option. You could have them be good Arena crew, that's an option.
Yeah, sorry. Ronald said, I'd like it if you could improve a card through use somehow. You build up a blue love into a purple, then into a gold. I know other games do that. There have been a few other sort of like mobile games. You start with a lower, there's a lot of games where you smash cards together and they make bigger cards, and that kind of thing. I think that if they were building the game,
why does not the big cards simply eat the smaller cards?
Pivot. All right, if we can pivot slightly. Chat, tell me, are you guys titillated already with recaps? We have 3 of the 5 golds. If you're a Voyager, they are Voyage, number 2, 9, and Kyrian's in the 30s, but she's also a Gauntlet crew. The art's been pretty good across it. There's some intriguing traits. Where are you guys at on recaps?
I'm pretty much all in.
I need to know who those last two are, like, just to see. I don't know. I think I used to, you know me, I've done my big recap pulls before, but I don't know. I'm now looking back on them, I'm thinking I got a lot of shit I could have just cited at some point and spent my dilithium on LTOs targeting good cards or used it in crew retrieval.
Yeah, so like that 2 skill of mud that you targeted for whatever goddamn reason.
Anyway, shut up. But for more specifically, now we're in the crew. Recaps have changed for me. Now we're in the crew retrieval age, where I can use that dilithium for speed ups. And I think I'd rather, okay, you get your daily, but even if I decide 1 month, okay, I'm not going to buy that daily card, and I'm going to start sort of watching the dilithium go down very slowly, but at least I'm using it a bit more. So recaps seem a little less appealing when I could get sites in the honor sales, which happen a bit more often now, and hopefully will continue to do so. I think
pull up in chat, folks. Let me know if you're thinking about recaps. If you never buy them, if you want to wait and see the rest of the crew, or if you're sold already.
Okay, so we know we've got Ancient Humanoid, we've got Prophet Kira, right? Or is she?
Yeah, she's in there.
And then we've got they mentioned the rest of the lineup in the event text, right? Who else have we got coming?
We will have
Patar, Kimpek, Sukhal, Erev, and Skor Tachar. And I had to look up most of these.
Yeah, let's have a look at them now.
Let's go up in order with Patar.
Patar, yes. So for those that don't know, Admiral Patar is from Discovery Season 1. Season 2. She was the Admiral who sort of appears in Holocoms who... I won't go into spoilers. We'll leave spoilers out of this, but she was a sort of a brief character that appears in a couple of scenes.
We might spoil a little bit because... so there are 2 versions we could be getting. There is the Vulcan Patar, or there's the Control Hologram Patar, and we're not sure which one we're going to get.
Yeah, it's interesting. So that's Patar, and I wouldn't say cultural figure.
No,
at all.
she's a Badmiral. She's one of the foiled antagonists.
Yeah, she's a really classic Badmiral. Yeah,
she sort of is until you realise. Yeah, okay, well, I won't go into spoilers. So that's Patar. We also have... Let's have a look. Come on. Who doesn't know Kempek?
Kimpek. I mean, it's a cultural figure.
I've been wanting for years. Yeah.
This is the one I could see being cultural figure, absolutely.
I guess this is probably going to be one of the golds if I had to guess.
I would hope so. I want him to be.
I was reading his memory alpha the other day. He's the longest reigning Klingon emperor in history, or at least up to that point. And I did watch the Discommodation episode with Worf, where he's a Badmiral, but he's a bad Chancellor moral. There's another word for that.
I wouldn't say he was a bad Chancellor. He was a conflicted one.
No, he was pretty bad.
No, he was obsessed with realpolitik rather than doing right by people. That's the thing. He was in terms of the actual ideas of a Chancellor, which is to keep the Empire together. He did that admirably. But in terms of doing right by his citizens, not at all.
And basically, Duras. We need a freaking Duras in game because he's in Enterprise, he's in TNG. We have the Duras sisters. Basically, Duras says, Worf, your father betrayed us to the Romulans at Khitomer. By the way, for the podcast listeners, how are recaps looking? 40% say yes, 33% say I never buy them, 27% say I'll wait to see the rest. So basically, Duras says, Worf's father was a traitor. And so Kern, Worf's brother, finds him and says, we need to challenge this. We need to restore our father's honor. So they show up at the High Council. And they challenge them. They say, no, Duras is a piece of garbage, of course. And so Kimpek pulls him aside and says, look, Worf, your honor would be safe if you would just stay in the Federation. This wouldn't bother your life at all. He said, we didn't think you were going to challenge. We didn't even know you had a brother. Just let Duras get away with this. And so Worf is like, you freaking kidding me? Because he's a real stickler with honor. And so Picard was with him as his Chadich, his second in line, because Duras already tried to kill his brother.
Can we take an aside for one of the best scenes? And I think Stars, you know this scene. It's the fuck around and find out scene, isn't it?
You may test that assumption at your convenience.
That's the one. It's the most badass Picard moment ever.
So basically, you have the pure white as snow Picard and Worf who are honorable, and you have Kim Peck trying to bury this to let Duras get away with his misdeeds. So it's classic good versus evil type thing, and then Worf makes a sacrifice of saying, "You can shun me from the Empire, and we'll keep this quiet as long as you let Kern live." Basically, so yeah, Kim Peck's a pretty pivotal figure. If we're guessing at traits, Klingon, politician, cultural figure, veteran. I think he probably has served in the past.
I would think so.
So
most of the chancellors have some kind of military history. Yeah,
maybe diplomat, but not really. I don't know.
Diplomat would make sense. He was pretty diplomatic for a Klingon.
Yeah, he should be a diplomat. He's the chancellor. Like most chancellors are diplomats. So.
Backroom diplomat as well, especially that does count.
So if I don't often do this, but like I've read quite a lot of the Star Trek books, and if you want a good one for Kempek, it's a book called The Art of the Impossible, which it's set as when Kempek is captain of a Klingon starship, and it's kind of details a little bit of sort of the hidden war between the Klingons and the Cardassians over some ancient Klingon relics that happen on a Cardassian colony world, and there's some of the Federation get involved as well. You get like a young sort of Lieutenant Nechayev in it as well. It's actually really well. Like some of the Star Trek books are cheese and crap, but this one is actually one of the really good reads. So I would recommend The Art of the Impossible if you want some, and it's got Moog in it as well. So some pre-Worf history there as well. So it's good. Worth it. Moving on, we also have coming up Su'Kal from the recent Season 3 Discovery. Also makes an appearance in Season 4, but I will assume this is going to be the Season 3 appearance of Su'Kal, which was the child that... No, I'm not going to spoil it. Not going to spoil it. I don't know how we're going to get around this.
Yeah, we won't spoil it. I don't know how you're going to get around it. But so I feel like he's probably the other alternative for a Gold, just because his role in Season 3 is pivotal. And if we're talking about in-universe power, he's up there.
Well,
you know, in terms of the effect he had.
Just to introduce him, he is a Kelpian, so the same race as Saru. So...
Yeah. And they find him on an abandoned ship, and yeah, like you say, there's some stuff with it. I think we did talk about this before, but like I really liked this storyline in Discovery Season 3. Like this whole arc was brilliant. I know a lot of people sort of like a bit funny about the outcome and his implications of what he did, but I really liked his and Saru's interaction, how they resolved it as well, how it wasn't this was the fundamental point of Season 3 was Su'Kal essentially, and how they sort of went about resolving this crisis was brilliant. It was inspired, and I'm glad they went that route as opposed to the usual. I mean, they did go the action hero route at the end of Season 3, but this, which was the main point of the plot, wasn't...
Of the two sort of intertwining plot threads of Season 3, this was the one that sort of like paid off the best,
This
I
is
think.
the best one, yeah.
All right, since Shai-Porn has interrupted his nap time for this, he says in chat, Bill Irwin, the guy who plays Su'Kal, is the best actor you've never heard of. So I'm pulling up his IMDb, and I'll just throw out a couple credits here.
I recall this... so the actor who plays Saru, Doug Jones, he has like a massive history of being like a creature actor. You know, he's done lots of stuff for Guillermo del Toro as the Pale Man in Pan's Labyrinth, and the main character in Shape of Water, essentially. And he was talking about playing against this actor, and basically said that he was really well versed in, I think it was like the silent film sort of thought of acting, where it's a lot more about gestures and how you carry yourself and that kind of thing. And it really comes through in how he portrays Su'Kal and how well he plays off of Saru. So I just wanted to dive in with that. So some of your credit.
It's the Interrupt Auto show. It's different.
No, that's fine. Shai-Porn, we'll never know what else Bill Irwin played because of Stars and Garters. So let's continue on.
Well, I'm going to IMDb if you want to. Go on, tell us.
All right. No, so I'll just throw out a few of the bigger, the ones that he had more roles. Dr. Peter Lindstrom in Law and Order SVU. Jason Weingard in Wolverine. Carrie Loudermilk in Legion. Anos Abascal in South of Hell. Dr. Buck Tierney in Monday Mornings. And Nate Haskell in CSI. Hal Brennan Lights Out. So he had a bunch of like multi-episode parts and pretty well-known shows.
Legion. I have to check and see what he played in Legion, because I remember watching that. It was a weird show.
And he was in like 1,400 Elmo's World movies and or episodes as Mr. Noodle. So if you're a big Mr. Noodle fan out there,
Okay.
Bill Irwin's your guy.
Dan, if you're listening, a data core, when Kempek comes into the game, his alternate title should be Mr. Noodle. There you have it. Okay, let's go on to Arev. Arev, who you might know from Enterprise, playing a Cyrenite. Otto, you've watched a lot of this lately. Tell us about Arev. I've not watched this. Season 4, isn't it? Is when they're going through the whole Surak and Archer's minds.
Yeah, no, I'm going to throw it to Stars and Garters because this I haven't gotten there yet, but he is. If you're vaguely aware of the trait Cyrenite that young T'Pau has, this guy's name is Siren. He goes by the name Arev, so he is a Vulcan, and we have someone has posted the leaked art asset file of him, and I will just say that the art is very good. So gold or purple, I'm very much looking forward to acquiring this crew.
Yeah, so you kind of gave me a bit of the lead in, but season 4 of Enterprise, which is widely regarded as one of the best seasons of Star Trek ever, and I kind of tend to agree, has this really great 3-episode arc about reconciling the Vulcans of Enterprise with the ones from TOS onwards. And it all kicks off with an embassy bombing that kills off longtime character Admiral Forrest, and that propels Saval to be like, hey, the Vulcan government is not telling you the whole story here. You need to go into the Vulcan's Forge, which is like this incredibly deadly stretch of Vulcan. It's like because it is a hellhole of a planet, really, even though it is very beautiful in matte paintings. And they go through the desert, and this is where you also get Desert Archer and I think Desert T'Pol. And I think they get attacked by some kind of creature, I think. And Arev, or Siran as he's also known, steps in to help them. And I really like him. I think he's only in the episode for like maybe 10 minutes before he dies, because he has to step in and sacrifice himself for them, essentially. But he's a really interesting character, and there's something very Spock about him, like in terms of how he approaches being Vulcan, and it's a really stark relief in comparison to Paul and Saval and all these other Vulcans who you've grown to know of in Enterprise. You get this character who's a bit more avuncular, who's a bit more sort of got that devil may care like thing about, I don't care about niceties or about stuff. I care about the pure logic of things and about doing what is right, essentially. That kind of Spock urge about him. And he's a very interesting figure in Vulcan history, because he basically kicks off their whole Reformation, which kicks, and I don't know, I was not expecting to see him in a cultural figure mega, but he definitely fits. I think he's going to be a really fun character. And
Don't worry, he won't have the trait, so...
Oh, yeah. Here's the thing. Can you be a Cyrenite if you yourself are Cyran?
They have to give him the trait, right? You can't not be. You can't not be.
Okay, well, here's the question. Is Jesus a good Christian?
Yeah,
is Jesus a Christian?
Right. He's not a Cyrenite. You're gonna break the logic computer.
Just like throw that one to laundry.
Wait,
just like, is Jesus Christ a Christian?
Jesus is a Christian, but God and the Holy Spirit are not Christians, right? Because that's like, whatever.
Can you be a follower of the religion named after yourself?
Let's not even get into real life religion.
Is coming to the game as well.
Hold on, wait. I have to take it aside because Shy Point. We're going down. Bill, I forget his name now already. We're going down his acting credits. Shy Point says his film credits are never going to give you a sense of what a theatrical giant he is. We're like, what about Mr. Noodle? Anyways, right. That's my segue away from politics and religion.
So TAS gets a lot of love from Timelines, and we're actually getting one that's in an event for once and not in a six-pack. You will be getting not Elite Om's race. Apparently, this is a different race. This is another
race of big birds.
Yeah, another race of big birds.
Score Aurelian?
Yeah.
Aurelian, yeah.
He is the one.
It's basically two yellow bird species, and this is a different yellow bird species.
This is the one
from the animation studio that brought you pink tribbles and weird blow-up enterprises.
Only because the guy was colorblind. But this is from the episode The Jihad. This is another episode that features EM3 Green and Lara and
Chuffed Captain?
No, Chuff Captain's not in this. He's in the Slaver Weapon, which is the Kazinti one.
Spock, Sword, Lara, EM3 Green.
There you go.
Yep.
Sword, that was the one, yes. So, yes, he is... I think he's the big bad of the episode as well.
I hope he has better art than Laura, otherwise he'd be the big bad of that week's show.
Yeah, I pulled up the Memory Alpha page here. This is the art, and I mentioned to you guys pre-stream, is like, this is the, well, now I'm not doing it art, you know? It's just like, I ain't going to
just like Pingu is sitting down on the table. Well, now I am not doing it.
That's like, no, I'm not doing it. Like, it's very kind of resigned. I hope they use this art. I hope they've just went to the Memory Alpha page and just used this one, because I definitely have it as my avatar.
So what you're saying is we need to get him doing Admiral Nechayev's pose so that Orta gets all kind of conflicted feelings.
Dude, if you have to build T'Char with Balerian canopies, I'm going to lose my mind.
I'd be happy with that as a nice little end joke.
Yeah.
By the way, Orta's going to look at it and simultaneously be aroused and really want KFC.
Weird boners.
I mean, who isn't at all times?
So
thank you, Ovid44, for following. Thank you very much.
A very niche hidden piece of trivia. James Doohan, aka Scotty, also voices T'Char. So
he voices most of him and Major
Yeah.
Barrett definitely are 99% of the voice cast in those episodes, and it's kind of great. I like it.
Idle.
Hello.
Can we do a beholder-meter?
We can. Let me find
Beholder-meter.
Let's spin
All right.
it. Give us the sound. Dude, get some batteries.
I need to get some batteries, yeah. You know what? I switched around the batteries last time and that fixed it, so maybe I'll just swap them around again. I have to reconnect the ODN conduits, don't worry.
Just reflux that matrix combobulator.
I have to reroute through the secondary command ISO processor.
There's some good discussion from Cairo. Is Idle an Idolite? Is Stars a Starite? Is Auto an automaton, or rather an automatonite?
He is an automated unit, I can confirm that.
That's true.
That's true.
He's a unit.
Alright, here we go.
Okay.
Yeah!
Oh, very nice.
Worked right up.
Well done. You should work Starfleet. Okay. 1 star on EV Suit Archer. 1 star on Joseph Sisko. 0 stars on Humbled Archer. Is this okay? Is this fuck, marry, kill? Except it is airlock take.
What flavour of Bofja do you want?
Okay, I'm obviously fucking Humbled Archer. I'm marrying Evie Suit Archer, and I'm killing Joseph Sisko.
But he cooks a mean
This is not
stew.
going to be a
I'm
real
marrying
segment,
Joseph.
by the way. We're not going to revisit
I'm
this.
marrying Joseph. Like, he can cook. You always marry someone who
Really?
can cook. Come on. Yeah, oh yeah.
Marry a good cook. You will like grow old and die happy.
Yeah. I'm killing the other two. Celibate.
Guess what? If you kill Archer, that is a net positive win.
That's true. The whole galaxy will thank you.
Yeah. Tran will be unhappy, but he's always unhappy. Yeah, no, it's Humbled Archer by a country mile.
It says Humbled, Airlock, Archer. Thanks, Garrick. That's helpful. Evie Suit for the collection. Add Jury Rigger to Stars Trades. Nice.
I mean, not wrong.
And who cares what the rest of you said? We're laughing too hard. All right.
Moving on. Give us another sound.
Oh wait, we didn't pick. We did fuck, marry, kill, but we didn't pick. Well, whatever.
Same thing. Okay. This is... Okay, yeah, no, this one is obvious. 0 stars on Carlos Data, 3 stars on Frank Hollander, 1 star on Mira Landry. Okay, I'll add the caveat. You are VIP 0 and we are VIP 0 and your crew slots are full. Who do you take?
Carlos and I airlock someone else.
Yeah, you
You
airlock
airlock-
Carlos.
You airlock her and you add Carlos if you're VIP 0.
All right, let's do one more.
Like, I know, add the star, but like what? Like, why would you ever?
No,
Okay.
You just airlock. Right, let's just do one more and then we'll move on. Ah, no, this is more interesting. Okay, 0 stars on Mokbara Crusher.
Ooh.
2 stars on Kalhaya Bashir. 3 stars on Dr.
Bro.
Van Gogh.
You gotta say Kalhaya.
Kalhaya.
Thank
Yes.
you.
This is interesting. This is a tough one.
That's hard.
Not
By the way, I know you planned this and all, but this will segue into the Dr. Van Gogh LTO. So excellently done, Idol.
Well.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
Take that win, my good sir.
I think I would go, because it's too hard to choose, I would go Mokbara and get the star, and then you've got side choices there. I think it's worth having.
She's a relatively easy retrieval.
Spirit Bomb Crusher. Kamehameha Crusher. She's just white.
You can't
Raise up
lose
your
her.
hands and give Bev your energy.
I'm not a lamp, come on.
This is hard because they all have unique skill sets or like raw power as
They're all
well.
good.
Like
I use Cal Higher.
and good collection value on everyone.
Yeah, I've got
Yeah,
Cal Higher
same,
5.5.
actually, yeah.
He gets more voyages than I expected.
He's
Yeah,
also got 3 collections.
yeah.
DVG as potential collections as well, which we've seen out for at some point.
He's like physician and innovator, and like he's just like a good, strong Ensai med,
great.
which is just like a.
Okay,
It's hard.
if we're role playing a little bit, you could take Dr. Van Gogh and then buy his LTO and finish him right now.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true.
Or even just use your campaign site, the cheaper option. If you've got it might be an option.
Dude, it's weird because like for years we had garbage crushers.
Yeah.
Like they were just so bad, and then within a year's time, we had Mokbar, we had Kaldos 4 Crusher. I will spare you the jocular alternate name.
Aphorism. Yeah.
And then who's the other one? The Century Nurse Crusher. So it's like
It's
we got
pretty decent, yeah.
3 usable crushers in about a year's time. That was really nice.
The question that
Yeah.
needs to be asked is from DC Pilot is,
Do you think he gets used if he gets fused?
they will all get used if they get fused. So
Yeah.
I mean, all of them will get. Yeah, you'd be using these crew for a long while. I think I'll play the long game, and also I do love Dr. Crusher, so I would probably go Mokbara here. But if I were in this exact situation, I would be incredibly conflicted. Now I have Kalhaya and Dr. Van Gogh finished on my account because they're amazing. But if I were in this exact star situation, I would feel really bad about avoiding the other two. I'd be like, ugh.
Chet is mostly on Crusher. Dr. Van Kalhaya Crusher, I think, is the right way to go.
a lot of people
But we've
say
had
you-
votes.
Yeah, a
We've
lot
had
of people
votes
said
for
you've got to get
everyone.
that first star, but like Autos, you reminded me, like, yeah, you can retrieve her quite easily. Like physician, athlete, I believe, are.
Stars reminded you, so I had nothing
It's
to
fine.
do with it.
We're a
I
hive
want,
mind.
I want him to get credit.
I hear
where
voices
credit
in my
is due.
ears, and I'm staring at about 1,000 different control panels. Everything just blends into one mesh of information. It's like,
Credit where credit is due. Stars, you're a woman of not only breeding but of wit and sagacity. I want you to know that.
Thank you, Captain Picard.
oh Lord.
All right, that's enough Beholder-meter. Do we have a plan for the rest of the show?
Apparently, we're going to talk about
You got a
Dr.
plan?
Van Gogh,
LTO.
who is LTO this week. Let me just scroll across the 1,001 bloody crew we got to talk about this week. Oh, where is he? There we go. Dr. Van Gogh is... Yes, we said we were going to talk about LTOs a little bit more. Then we sort of had a poll up a few weeks back that was saying, what would you like us to sort of feature more on the show? And a lot of people said, yes, please talk about the LTOs and whether this is worth our money. So we're kind of going to bring this back a little bit for the notable cards. Obviously, we're not going to talk about EV Suit Archer if he comes up or anything like that. But Dr. Van Gogh, Breen Kira this week. Dr. Van Gogh, Ensai Med, rare skill set, 3 collections. Void rank slipped a little bit, but I think his skill set makes up for it. Definitely, he's the sort of the polar opposite of Sahil, where he doesn't have the voyage power, but he's equal amount in power because that is such a rare combination.
So we were talking about how all of Lieutenant Sahil's traits are antimatter traits. I'm pretty sure all of Dr. Van Gogh's are as well.
Seven.
Yeah, I don't think I've done a single voyage since immortalizing him where he has not appeared unless he was on an event shuttle. He is just incredibly easy to put on a voyage. That voyage rank is slipping a little bit, and Holo Engineer Zimmerman takes out like 2/3 of his his thing. But that med kicker is nice, and yeah, if you have Hollow Engineer, it dings him a little bit. But you're still going to need more Eng Psi, and a bit of med is never going to hurt.
Eng med Voyagers are just going to, they're okay. The med's the tertiary, but they're still going to, rock. Especially if Eng's the primary skill. I mean, primary, secondary, they're all equal anyway. But yeah, the utility is there more than the power. Even though he does actually have the power, 133 these days is still nothing to be sneezed at. That will a contender for a 12-hour voyage certainly. And I think I have seen some DVGs on 12-hour voyages that we've had.
Let me knock him down a peg. I don't necessarily disagree with you guys, but I want to play devil's advocate. He's estimated within a year's time to be on the wrong side of rank 200. Now, obviously, collection boosts are going to flip that around, but if you guys are spreadsheet warriors or you like to check your crew on data core, etc., how many crew ranked 200 or worse in voyages are you still using regularly? Not so many. Now, obviously, he's going to do great. Even over the next years, get those 7 animator treats. Eng med, you're probably going to use them there for several years. But it's something to think about. Secondly, the last Doctor faction event for Voyager EMH was, I got to look all the way back, August 31st, 2017. So it's been over 4 years since you've been able to use Doctor variants in a faction. So if
Doctor variants, yeah. I think I remember using him in a physician event, but yeah, no, Doctor variants, yeah.
There's a lot of hologram, and good traits are part of the package, but so that's sort of my, because I have not
it's a valid criticism.
I haven't finished him myself. He has a lot of high points, and he has a few low points. So if you're on the fence, stuck in the middle, that's something to think about. I don't think it's an automatic buy. I don't think anyone should be automatic no, if you're a regular spender, of course. So he's got a lot to him.
If you had just gotten that Beholden Taken Van Gogh and you had the opportunity to finish him off instantly with a citation, I would be hard-pressed to say no. By the
way, imagine if they called him, time and again EMH instead of Dr. Van Gogh.
Don't all LTOs come with us? No, not all LTOs come with us. To be honest, it's been a while since I bought one, but no LTOs come with the site anymore. That's the old thing. It's the DYC that comes with the site now, isn't it? So if anyone's inclined to take the DYC instead, take the star and take the DYC, might be, and you get another site which you could then put on Calhoun Bashir. I don't know.
I want to read through chat.
Idle, you're turning into the staring at math GIF right now. Bit. Stop it.
So this is a sort of a chat requested segment. So let me read down some comments here. Hologram comes up all the time on Voyages. For me, he hasn't aged well and doesn't seem to continue to either. Eng med used to be rare, not so much these days. His hair still looks weird, so we've run the whole gamut.
Meant to look weird. I think his hair's kind of meant to look weird.
I think it's
Eng med used to be rare, not so much these days. I don't know, so ahead of him you probably got Medic Jet Reno, Carlos Data, Indulgent 7.
It's still showing there is no doubt about it. And when WRG are going to put out more, command IPSEC powerhouses, then that's only going to get. It's going to be the same situation we had back in early 2020 when there was nothing in the Eng med sort of area. We definitely need.
Yeah, because I'm looking at Voyage rank 100. I'm looking at Voyage rank 133, and I'm like, how many of the 132 ahead of him are command IPSEC?
Yeah, I mean, the latest powerhouse in that sort of category was Carlos Data. He's side-led, but with Eng specifically, Nanoprobe Flock. So it's there. It's just not in the power that you need.
He is 6th in his skill order.
Yeah.
One of our big, literally the only selling point for our Discord is that we track 12-hour voyages, and so we've had a whole
game. The only selling point. We have a lot of fun. Jesus Christ. Discord's great. Comes over.
The other selling point is that the instant you join the Discord, you get hit with tons of the generic Discord hello messages, so you know.
I wish I could ban
had people hit 12 hours on Med Command, on Eng Med, on pretty much every combo out there. So if you're worried, I want to chase 12-hour voyages, but maybe I should go into Command IPSEC or something like that, I don't think it matters at this point. Collection boosts are going to raise all boats. Go for... His power overall is good enough that if you like the character or you're lacking what he offers, go for it. I mean, I'm not tunneling towards specific skill sets so much anymore because I think the possibilities have really opened up. But if we're gonna flop to the opposite skill set, let's transition to Breen Disguised Kira as the other LT.
Yeah. So the Sahil problem. Breen discussed Kira, Sec, Dip, Command, now Voyage rank number 4. I think she debuted number 2 at the time. Yeah, so she has fallen from great. No, she is not. She's still an amazing Voyager, with the added bonus of having Kira events.
And her flavor text does not read Breen disguised Kira.
Not yet, my friend.
No, you're quite right. It does not.
Actually, it says, a disguised Kira helps Dukat see reason before harm comes to his daughter.
That's not bad. That's right.
A giant spike impales Dukat in the bottom before Kira can pull it out with great joy and glee. That's what it should say.
Yeah, that's more accurate. So, she's kind of got that whole Sinister Picard thing going on where immense raw power, you kind of have to really love the moment or the character to want to invest in the skill set, considering, you know, the Sec Dip being the rarest combination of the three, notwithstanding, she did just get pipped by Sahil. So...
It's been a while, though. She's been out for a good, a year now?
At least
September
a year,
29th.
Like, anyone that's just gone and put
over.
their 5th star on her and gone, oh shit, it's not a bad investment by any means. This is, we're talking like the later losers. These are the Voyagers which everyone looks up to and goes, you know. This is...
I have to point out, Idle, every time you move your arm like that, it makes your arm disappear. And I just think of when the EMH loses his arm in Heroes and Villains.
It's great because I've
Heroes
got,
and
I've
Demons,
got
rather.
cloaking beer now.
So, we talk a lot about return on investment. If you cite up a Captain Braxton all the way, he's going to voyage for you for the next 5 years. Like, that's almost undeniable. If you cite up a Dr. Van Gogh, he's got a great skill set. Are you going to be using him in 5 years? No. Are you going to be using him in 3 years? Probably not. So, even though the skill set is bad, you look at someone like Kyrian, you could still be using her in 2-3 years. First of all, if you're investing in Breen Disguise Cure for her Starfleet trait, that is an error, and I will move heaven and earth to get that removed. Delete the trait from her trait list. There's also a little bit more to
on a
her.
Forum somewhere that you could go and visit and express your
Rabble. There's a little more to her. In the gauntlet, she does get a 45%.
It took great effort to bring these traits here.
All right. I will allow anyone to interrupt me with Kivas Vajra quotes all day long. Thank you for that one. So she has a little bit of gauntlet. She has 2 collections already and probably will get a few more. And she has flavor text if you're into that. So like as a package, Kira's had 4 events in every calendar year except one. And I'm going to trot that set out until they break it. So it's like she's good in almost every area of the game. You know, don't look at the skill set and say, I don't need more of that. You probably don't, but you need kind of everything she offers as a package.
Yeah, it is a point, especially because like she is the best card in the EV suit collection, and unless you want to finish off EV suit Mayweather or some other
Red Angel,
proposition,
but you're not really citing Gauntlet Crew necessarily.
No.
Maybe.
So,
well, even then, it's still not as good.
Eric
I don't
Nelson in
think.
chat brings up, I actually bought this LTO, since I've never managed to pick her up and she's such a strong card. She is actually really, if you want to save yourself the money, she's really easy to retrieve. Like, there's...
but don't use the
if you
Breen
could buy
Polestar.
it, I was going to say, only if you buy the Breen Polestar.
But no, she is quite easily retrieved for the money. Like there is options
Go
there.
to datacore.app and look up her retrieval combos. Don't use the Breen Polestar.
Big.
Yeah, it's like Saboteur, Veteran, something else. Resourceful,
1
maybe?
million ISM for the Breen Polestar.
Yeah. So yeah, go like the guys say, go to Datacore, look up add your data in, put in what people you can retrieve or what you need. Like there's plenty of options out there for you. I would say this is one of the ones I would retrieve opposed to maybe buying, but there you are. Depends on your priorities and your patience.
I mean, these are 2, and they've done a lot recently where these LTOs end like right before our show, which is kind of a bummer because, you know, I think
You really should have bought that crew.
Yeah, right. Because we can't even talk about
What
it.
you've known.
I don't personally buy LTOs, but like you can't get much better than these 2.
It's a good one to get.
Like, who are they going to offer? Lieutenant Sahil for 10? Probably not. So
well, funny you should mention that.
Oh God, did they? Did they just put up the offer? I would believe it.
They did no, they did not. But however, we do now have a campaign which is starting tomorrow, which you can get yourself your very own 4 or 5 copy of the other Sahil variant for Command Dip Psi, Voyage rank stunning 261. 2 skiller?
Too high.
Oh no, sorry.
Too
yeah,
high
3
for his
skiller, sorry.
character.
Yeah, too high for this character. Certainly shouldn't be Voyage number 2 or anything. This is all they're the
You know what?
They're the bookends for the Sahil character.
You know what?
Really.
I'm looking at this card and at the Sahil who we had earlier, and I'm thinking of that scene in Wrath of Khan where Spock gives Kirk that book, A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, I believe. And he flicks open the page. He says, "It was the best of times. It was the worst of times." Message, Spock. And Spock is, he said in that arch Spock way, he's like, "None that I'm conscious of, except of course, fuck Sahil."
Is that in the script?
I'm pretty sure that's how that went.
How you knew?
I know, it's crazy, right?
After 40 years of dutiful isolation, Sahil is commissioned as a Federation communications officer. Excellent mouthfeel on that flavor text, by the way. The consonants are very punchy. The vowels roll off the tongue. This is wonderful flavor text. We'll probably tier it in 2 or 3 or something.
It's got a nice peaty aroma.
It's oaky with a smooth finish.
These adjectives really just, hit.
Look, what do you want to talk about? The Sahil card? Because that's going to suck for everyone.
I think I'm buying a campaign for this card. Well, actually, I am, because I've got him 1 of 5, and I want to freeze the fuck out of him and get a career slot back. But that's the only reason.
Now, what Kearney points out, he is good for bridge crew pictures, and that's true. You can have him go, "You can get a new car."
Yeah. He points us. Who is it? No. It says this Sahil shows you the way to the variant you really want. So yeah, this is a tale of 2 Sahils. This is this week. That's what this week's show could have been called. Why could none of you have got that? Come on.
Well, if I hadn't been working, I could have suggested it, but well.
I will shout out Anon on the forums who said, "I'm buying him because he's number 13 command base. He's now number 14, but it's seriously, people like big bases. That's always going to be part of the game. So if you're a big Daily Shuttles fanatic, then
now, Idle, you can't have that look on your face. Someday, my 5 out of 5 Admiral Cartwright will do me right.
He's a maverick,
point
right?
out,
Maybe. I don't
Captain
know.
Tribble.
Gambler?
Captain Tribble you can buy him for free. Timekeeper Tenevik was a mega giveaway. These are all better crew. Wonderland Tribble Kirk was also a mega giveaway.
Did you just say you can buy Captain Tribble for free?
It's essentially free. 100k on is more expensive. Come on, it's a bit of time.
How many pant are you imbibing right now?
Oh my god. This is only. Where's my camera? This is only
one. Cloaking device. Fire the wheel.
I am gone. I am not here.
Yes. If we trigger an ionic destruction, it'll trigger their cloaking device. Excellent idea, sir.
This is only 1 pant.
Data something's got me.
What's this one? Is this only 1 pant? This is only 1 pant. I'm down a pant.
Yeah, but more importantly, you found a cloaking device. Hello?
Fucking, I'm gone now. Right, laters.
Can's gotta have a tailpipe.
Anyway.
Why are we not whining about traits? What is this show? Can we complain about art or something, please?
Okay, let's...
The art's fine. He looks suitably depressed.
He does look like he was killed and brought back from the dead with a sort of gray pallor,
Yeah.
It
was not meant to be a fun scene.
I would rather have had the scene where he was brushing his teeth. That would have been funnier.
You can reuse what is that 2-star Stamets variant?
Oh, off-duty.
Off-duty Stamets, you can reuse his toothbrush item in the build. Yeah, we've saved...
I thought you were about to say they can reuse his art and just recolor it, and I'm like, Auto, please don't do this.
Nice shade of orange. Okay.
I've never checked my beard. Do I have pant on this? I don't think I do.
Is it European standard? I don't know.
Please don't hold up the show. It says 1 pint. That's the closest to a
pint.
pant rating that I have.
Well, it is
I
pint.
don't think that's pan.
That's not pan. If it's not pan,
No, sorry.
I don't accept it. Okay, let's stop talking about beer and talk about a new card in a campaign with such a like we have not seen since Scrooge Data. We are getting something brand new to celebrate the new season of Discovery. Science Officer Tilly, who is featured in the new uniform variant, is coming as a free 4/4 that everyone can get in the campaign. Psi Command Dip. Popular character for a lot of people. People love the Tilly. There we go.
As the Discovery find its new place in the 32nd century, Tilly finds hers in the role of science officer aboard the ship.
Accurate. The interesting thing is, because she was supposed to be, at the end of season 3, she was first officer. Or acting first officer. And now she is science officer, so I'm wondering, without going into spoilers, with this...
I have to remind you, I'm pretty sure that Burnham was science officer and first officer aboard the Shenzhou, wasn't she?
No,
so it's not
Saru
uncommon
was
for
science officer, wasn't he?
Folks, I'm going to warn you now. There's probably going to be mild spoilers because we've all seen the first episode. And these guys.
If you want to argue the point, Spock also.
True. Okay, I'll give you Spock. Yeah. But,
it's possible to be both.
Oh no, absolutely. But I'm just it's interesting they haven't clarified it yet.
She looks completely perturbed, by the way. Arms crossed and the little scowl on her face, and the sort of the camera angle from it's almost like from below, you know.
I kind of like it. It's like she's trying to put on like an air of like of authority, and then someone's going to be like, "Hey Tilly, your fly's undone." She's like, "Oh, sweet."
it's expressive of something.
Yeah.
So.
This is Mary when her husband's in trouble or something. It's like, you said what?
So I have to say, I absolutely adore the art and I love these uniforms. I heard some people saying like, "Oh, like they didn't do her any justice." Like, I'm sorry, but Mary Wiseman is a large woman and she looks great and gorgeous as a large woman. Embrace that.
Yeah, no one.
I say that's a game.
There is no shaming here. Like this is who Mary Wiseman is. This is what this is what she is. Like this is the card you get.
And she got to fine vigor in that blue. Like I love these new uniforms.
No one is like
it's
the
sharp.
one thing about I like about Star Trek at the moment is it's not Hollywoodifying everyone. Like there is definitely it's. You know what I'm trying to say. There is this like we will take everyone as they come. And this is great.
As someone who's been in the nude for the pleasure of the Timeline Stalks viewers.
Yeah.
Well, in his trunks, let me just say that one of the things I do appreciate about Discovery is people look normal. Like how many, I don't want to belabor the point, but how many, let's say, overweight people were in TNG? Like maybe 1 or 2 people in the early seasons.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everyone looks kind of like a normal, average person, and that's fine. But like people are different, so. And again, no spoilers, but there's someone else in the episode 1 that is sort of similar, and it's like, okay, it's nice. People they look different. You have I forget his name now. Whoever Stamets actors, God bless him. He's 50. Looks like he might be in his 30s. So
he's aged well.
What? He's 50?
He is. Yeah. Well, that's why we had the birthday behold a few weeks back, wasn't it?
Right. So Discovery has done a good job of including all types of people, and so.
Hey, Stars. Do you think this is the start of Otto becoming a Discovery fan? He's
No,
many
never.
Things he's saying tonight. This is the time.
All right, let's talk about the card, because frankly, she was lucky to escape the drawing board with the Explorer trade. I'm going to keep plugging it just because I can't help myself. It's so great. And I can say that because I haven't actually done the work. No Name Namer has. But Big Book 2.0, one of the features we have is potential collection value, looking at all the traits and how likely they might hit on an event. The worst crew in the game for potential collection value is Cadet Sylvia Tilly, because she has Human Federation Starfleet theoretical engineer, of which there are like 9 in the game. So Tilly was real lucky to escape with the Explorer trait, which, judging by episode 1, she doesn't do a whole lot of that, but it's sort of a nebulous thing. There are a lot of desperate, resourceful, there are a lot of nebulous traits you can throw on a crew. So she was lucky to get that 5th trait. On Void, I mean, this is kind of the quintessential new crew or new player. Crew.
I was thinking that she's a really good crew for if you were starting the say you were, browsing some other, mobile game when you chose your offer wall of choice, or you were browsing the Google Play Store, and you saw an ad for Star Trek Timelines, and you were like, "Oh, I really enjoyed Discovery Season 3 and 4. I'll jump in and see what's in." And you saw a campaign with, Sahil and this Tilly, and you could jump into a 4-week mega with a Sahil as your thing. I feel like that's a decent introduction to the game for a new player. You'd be getting some good crew to get you started off, and it would stand you in good stead for probably the rest of the entire game. Not Command Dip Suck. She has a science.
There is that.
A whole science.
So Discovery was introduced in late 2017, so that's been what? 4 years?
Yeah.
Tilly has had 3 events in 4 years.
Yeah,
2017, 2018, and 2020. She's had a lot of 6-pack crew, and this is a campaign crew. So I can definitely understand the appeal of Tilly. She doesn't do it for me personally, but people who like the bubbly personality and some of the outrageous lines she has, I can get that. So I wish they'd give her a little more love. It's kind of hard to trade her. If you watch the episodes, there's not a lot that fit the ones in the game, even though she's sort of a quirky personality. So for people that do like her, I wish they'd give her a little more love. Like when Discovery Megas ended, Culber had 4 events like within the next year and a half. Tilly has not. She's had 1 since Discovery events have ended. So I would like to see her get a little more love, even though I don't particularly like the character, because I think she adds to the Timelines ecosystem, as it were. And plus, her only good variant at this point, good variant is Killy for Arena. She's kind of gotten the short end of the stick. If we want to transition to the Tuesday crew...
Well, this is exactly what I was just going to say. If you want to talk about a good Tilly variant that may sort of shake up the... hang on, let me find it. Where have I put her? Hang on, she's in here somewhere. Just guys, don't look at the show notes. It's just numbers as I scroll through it. Wonderland Tilly has launched in this week's Tuesday pack. A Voyage rank 62 Command Eng Dip might sort of challenge Killy quite well for the role of Supreme Tilly. Challenge Killy for the room of Supreme Tilly. That's a mouthful. Yes,
Tilly knows she has a lot to learn, but she's determined to become a captain someday.
Season 1 Tilly, this is sort of Cadet Tilly adjacent, sort of one from the early episodes where she meets Burnham, and Burnham sort of tells her the story of, Alice in Wonderland and sort of upbringing and hands of the book. So I like this art, and I like this kind of moment. This is a really cool sort of another sort of showcase of the character. Sort of, I quite like. I like they've kind of got the brave hair going on.
So yeah, I was actually thinking about that. You could. I like when you can chart a character's progression through their story by their art. So you could potentially have, say, Wonderland Tilly, then maybe Cadet Tilly, then transition into the Colony Tilly, and then maybe go to Science Officer Tilly, and then you've got kind of a nice progression across the 4 seasons there. You can do that with other characters like Picard and Worf as well. I like that, having that idea. I
bet a bunch of people already have those 4 exactly as their bridge crew right now.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, definitely. Stats-wise, please.
This is a crew, again, that sort of suffers from the lack of traits. Now, they gave her casual, which is fine. She's sort of off-duty. I did look through the episode. I watched that part. I looked through what she did in that whole episode. I couldn't really find much more than that. You can give her, some nebulous trait like resourceful or whatever, but traits are kind of becoming a huge part of the game. Collections, voyage antimatter, event bonuses, crew retrieval. It's like it touches every part of the game. So if we're discounting theoretical engineer for now, like I said, I think there's only 9 crew that really all she has that's unique would be casual. So she's
like okay. If you were going to try and give any more Tillys a trait, maybe you could give it something like empathetic as opposed to empath, like actually trying to reach out to people and empathize with them. She's very good with that, and there are a few other characters who are kind of like that. If you wanted to try and give her more traits to pad it out a bit, empathetic would work. But
which is so, like I said, I'm excited to see Historian in the game, but that's like you can kind of define that pretty clearly, and it doesn't apply to a lot of the crew that really need the trait help. So. As a Voyager, she's okay, unboosted, rank 75, which means you're probably going to get about 2 years out of her. I really enjoy the running joke. If someone's command engine, you say just retrieve Braxton instead. But obviously, there's some differences there, and you could ride both at the same time. So this is if you like Killy, she's got enough meat on the bone that you can go for and use her for maybe a couple of years. But she's just not going to age well. I mean, we know that from history. You either need traits or something unique about you, or an event cushion, and she doesn't have really any of that.
Yeah, you are just dissociating over there, or you're right?
A little bit. No, my wife and a friend were just chatting away in the kitchen. It was very loud, and I'm surprised you didn't hear it. So I was like kind of listening to see where they were going. Yes, she's all right. Moving on. Sorry, I got very distracted.
I just hurriedly shoving off the receipts from the data thing he bought to get 5 out of 5 of with Dreamwalk Auto and his Dreamwalk
I was trying to
Cotes.
dissuade people from getting. I mean, other than the hardcore Tilly fans, because I know there's some out there were just getting, we're just sort of pulling packs because I like Tilly and that's fine. But there were some people looking and saying I really want it for the stats, and I'm just like, no, don't, maybe don't. Wait for.
Well, she sort of occupies the same kind of power niche as Labourer Kirk or Marquis Takeover Seska, but without any of their collection or event sort of things to fall back
very
on in terms of
trait-rich.
power.
Also says, she's someone that will go down quite fast. There'll be people that'll supersede her over time, and if they introduce, or say, more science, or hopefully they shall introduce more science bonuses that will knock her down even further. We have something else coming to the game as well. Another forgotten treasure has happened. I haven't got the artwork up for this week, but we had from last week's. We had sort of the best of 2019. Now this is sort of the hits of 2020, or at least that sort of era. The Queen Poe. If you remember those great tracks from Queen Poe, and there's top of the pops for timelines, isn't it? Another one of these.
I really do feel like someone is flicking through a calendar at the WG office and throwing a dart. And it's like, and we're doing July 2018. Okay, we're going to it.
What is? I have in a game. Let me run down any maybe particularly notable names. Admiral Maxwell Forrest was in a campaign. Maybe you won his last star. Age of Sail Wharf. That one's for you, stars. Claymore Scotty is coming up in an event. Control Leland, Command Up suck, but yeah, these are all in the 2020 pack that's in the.
So you mentioned Maxwell and Age of Sail Wharf. These are now literal people that I got. Well, I got Maxwell from the campaign and I cited him. I got Age of Sail Wharf in the event and cited him. Both great cards. And they were both great cards at the time. But now
these are all retrievable as well.
And again, they're all retrievable. But I'm just talking about my roster specifically, and they're now sort of fallen off that cliff where we're getting the new Sahils, we're getting the new sort of Hollow Engineers in, and there's a lot of people that are replacing these older crews, so selling these.
All right, let me blow your mind. Dr. Bones McCoy, #1 med. You couldn't possibly have a better med base than Dr. Bones McCoy. Lanara Khan.
Go on.
Lanara Khan, she was in the campaign. Maybe you need that last. Okay, Mycelial Clubber. He's still pretty damn good.
He's still tops, pretty much, yeah.
I'm looking down the list. It's not the cream of the crop, but again, it's discounted. So if you like the gamble aspect of the game, and you don't mind splashing around either some cash or some dilithium, it's not the best value, obviously, but they're trying something new, A, and B, they're discounting it. So that's fine with me. I think someone said on the forums their sweet spot would be $250 or $2,500 for a 10-pack. I can maybe see that.
Cheap enough to I would take a gamble on that, yeah.
But it would have to be at least that cheap for me personally, because these are, like you said,
for that wide of a golf, yeah, you kind of need a significant discount to incentivize it, really.
But I mean, look at how retrieval has just changed things for everyone. Look at the dilithium you would spend on that, and what you could bump up the speed ups to the 200 tier, and you'd get better value because you target the cards you want, as opposed to, oh shit, I got Queen Poe again. That's the danger of people. I am speaking from my late game experience, and I know a few in chat can experience that. There are people who are VIP 0 that would probably have got their off-wall dilithium or got their campaign dilithium will kind of go, oh, I've got none of these crew, or I need stars on all of these crew, and that looks a lot more attractive, especially for those that are more sort of collection focused. So it depends on where you are. I just don't like the risk of getting crew that I've already got, especially in that larger pool.
And yet you'll pull 100 Steam packs.
Yeah, but that's different. I do that for the stream, you know.
Since we are
I do that
paid,
for the entertainment value.
since we are paid WRG employees, I put a pull up in chat. Have you guys bought any of these discounted elusive packs? Have you bought it with dill, cash, or not at all?
We are not paid WRG employees.
You guys are getting paid?
We are paid in ISM, the most valuable currency.
Are we?
That's how I've been hoarding all
We
these
have to
green
play the
pole
game.
stars, clearly.
I mean, it's an anonymous poll, so no one should feel this or that way. I just, I'm curious. We're curious about.
I'll
how these
turn off
deals
the
are working
ISP
out.
tracker that lets us know who's voting on what.
Okay. Hang on, let me just turn around to the tactical station. Can you just... No, never mind. There's no one on the bridge anyway.
Warf, put your pants back on.
It's a quiet night shift.
We have one thing left on the agenda. Dude, we flew through tonight. What is this?
have.
I thought we were going to go like 3 hours.
You guys have not... Your tangent game is weak this week. Hey. This week. Behold a meter, shall we?
Yeah, you can do it on your own.
When
Thanks,
I'm having to fill the moments, it's a quick week.
By the way, a little bit of a... because I think at this point...
I have control over the show now.
I think at this point we only have the most devoted viewers. So next week is regular Timeline Talks. The week after, on the 1st, we are going to have, we told you about this, an all Robert Picardo episode of Timelines Talks. Fun theme there. And then on the 8th, we are doing, on the 15th, we're doing the awards show, covering all the stuff we've been talking about in Discord, all the different categories, the best crew of the year, the worst crew of the year, all that stuff. So we are action-packed right up until the Christmas holiday break.
We are indeed. And if you go onto the Discord, we are in fact doing votes every day at the moment. And I apologise for the people I'm pinging everyone in. It's just to get your attention, essentially. We'll be voting for the community picks, where everyone submitted their entries, and we're now going to pick which ones are the best. Go ahead and vote. The votes will be running. There is no close date on the votes until pretty much near the time I make the categories until the end. So go ahead and vote and go and have a look at that. It is worth doing. You'll have a little bit of a say, your own say in what we show on the community on the awards show. But yes, we are changing the Armada show to an all doc extravaganza, all EMH extravaganza.
Docsember, as it were.
Docsember, yes.
Coined by Stars and Guards.
Would love it. So,
Who also brought you the wonderfulness of Picard.
Picard, Docsember. Dude, you got a corner of the market. This is going to be your thing.
can't wait till Robert April.
This guy's 6 beers in and he busts out that one. Yes, Idle. That's why you're the host, baby.
Yeah. Less said about May Ahern, the bear. Okay, give us the noise again.
Again? Okay, fair enough.
Please. I can't do it without Met.
Geo, you
That's
fuck.
Geo, damn it.
You knew, yeah, you knew.
You charlatan.
0 stars on Beloved Anorak. 0 stars on Assimilated LaForge. 0 stars on Obsidian Order Garrick.
What does it say that we have a Borg and a Cardassian with some very threatening lightning, and yet I am still more creeped out by Anorax in this lineup here?
By the way, if you're looking for a thread through the show, this is a theoretical engineer Anorax. Beloved Anorax is not romantic at all, but he is theoretical engineer.
But evil, like Captain Nemo style Anorax, he is romantic apparently.
I'm seeing a split between Garrick and Geordie here in the chat. A lot of people saying Garrick. It's interesting. No love for Geordie.
Garrick does get a 65% gauntlet. I don't find him particularly good there because his rolls are kind of shite. I would go Borg. Yeah, Laborgi.
Garrick's trait list: Cardassian, Obsidian Order, Crafty, Scoundrel, Interrogator, Resourceful, Undercover Operative, Brutal, Romantic, Saboteur. That's a whole lot of not Human Federation Starfleet traits. So if that's your jam, this is your guy.
This bold would make me just unsubscribe. Thank you,
For our
everyone.
podcast listeners, have you bought any of these discounted Elusive Treasures packs? 76% say no, thank you. 18% say yes with dilithium. 6% say yes with cash.
I quite like that assimilated LaForge. That's one of the originals that makes me kind of go, yeah, this was a very good idea to do. And also, he's a bit of a gauntlet hoss. I think
he has his place. He's not as good as he used to be, thanks to the welcome resurgence of EV Super Picard, who I love taking into Gauntlet. He's so much fun to use there, but he does still get his, I think, what, a 65%?
He gets a 65, yeah.
Yeah. I'd go Borg here, just because Geordie events do happen. He has the Gauntlet, as you say, and he's got a lot of collection value.
He gets a
like
65% and a trio of 45%.
Yeah.
He's kind of an all-rounder. I mean, I'm going to pat myself on the shoulder again. Hey, I'm the big book guy. When we started the big book, this was like an S tier. This was a top of the line, top shelf crew. Because he was a great Voyager when he came out, great in Gauntlet. The events between LaForge and then all the other traits he has, and now he's picked up a lot of collections too. So he's still kind of a Swiss Army knife, but the power level really is not there. He's right on the wrong side of rank 200 on voyages. His Eng base is down 49th, which, I mean, if you get a bonus, fine, you're still going to use him. But then, even in Gauntlet, you kind of have to wait for him to collect those 45% crits. So this again, would be another good new player crew, because you could use them in a lot of areas, and you wouldn't really feel the stat rank droopage that you would on a complete roster.
Droopage. I like it.
So between that and the bridge crew art where his armature sticks out in front of the guy next to him, this is kind of a complete package crew.
I love that Garrick though. It's a hard choice, you know. If you're not a Gauntlet fan and you're just going for pure aesthetics, there's it's a tough choice between Borgie and Garrick, really. But I that Garrick is lovely. I love Garrick. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, he's a pretty great character. I could definitely see taking him just for pure affection reasons. I would absolutely. I'm always down for taking a character for affection reasons.
All right, let's spin it. Give me some Geo. Oh, it's Meg again. You just got the one sound.
No, this is Geo. You're too drunk, man.
Not enough.
They're vastly different.
You are vastly panted, good sir.
I have been panted where no man has
Properly,
panted
Roger.
before.
Ooh.
3 stars on... Oh, bugger, I've forgotten his name.
Degra.
Scientist Degra. 0 stars on
Sahil?
Fury Kess.
Is this Sahil?
Is this a top-rated Voyager? 0 stars on Fury Kess. 0 stars on Lumeral Kira. This is an interesting one. Because do you take the star or do you choose between 2 quite good Voyagers?
Well, Fury Kess doesn't really voyage anymore. I think she's on the wrong... She's like 180, I think, now.
400% boom, though.
Well, this is the thing. She has a good Gauntlet roll, which I'm actually using her in Gauntlet right now for 25%. She has a 400% boom. I believe she has some oddball traits which could maybe hit on a collection, like Prodigy and Telekinetic and stuff like that. I think... I'm not a non-zero chance for some collections there. I like her a lot as a multi-purpose crew, but she doesn't really voyage anymore. Lumeral's a bit sort of less flavorful. I think she has veteran and like a pretty good. She's equivalent to Prophet Kira, I think, in terms of voyage power. At least it was.
She is just ever so slightly less. Yeah, that 4 points less. So she is, yeah. But yeah, she sits sort of under the Sinister Picard Koloth kind of. Yeah, she's fully rank 39 at the moment as it stands. So you know, Sahil is very much pushing her down that one notch this week. I think if you don't have the booms, if you don't have the Killies, the Garths, the Young Anyas, then yeah, it's Kess for getting that utility. But if you do, if you're flush with arena crew, no trouble in skirmish, maybe it's Kira, because you'll get events with Kira. Would not add the start to Degra, even though he is collection.
No, he doesn't have any power. To be fair, he actually has an instant boom, doesn't he? But it's a weird one. It's a multi-phase boom, I believe.
Yeah, it's a 0-second activation, but it's only 100% damage
Yeah.
until the charge phase. So if you're trying to kill everyone at 6 to 8 seconds, he's actually going to be below the threshold you want for damage. So he's viable. Actually, I really like these kind of Locutus, these really fast activating crew, because it's sort of future proof. If they ever add a good supplementary piece where maybe you have that 1-2 punch combo, maybe you could do something. So as it stands, it's not going to make or break your arena lineups, but it's just something to store in the back.
If they decide to make
Back your
arena
mind.
interesting one day, then yes.
One day, someday soon. I think I'd go Kess here. That's what I would go.
The answer to my hypothetical question, which I'm the only one who apparently poses it, if you want a starter crew, it's a little more topical now that we have crew retrieval. If you're a new player, first of all, welcome to the game, and you just started, and you're looking for one crew to kind of do it all for you, Fury Kiss has always been my answer. She might still be. I mean, maybe you go for a big Power Voyager, like I was going to say Reunion Spock and Kirk. I don't think you can retrieve that one.
No, you can only get them by going into certain packs.
Fury Kiss is good in Gauntlet. She's good in Arena. You could probably still voyage with her, especially if you're newer. And I'm going to click the users and chat button. Okay, I don't see Ben there, folks. There is a art asset file in the game for the Botanist collection. So, if that ends up happening, Kess is one of pretty few in the game. So, good traits there. They kind of all have good traits, and they all have their pluses and minuses. But as an all-rounder, Kess is kind of stands out there.
A year ago, we were going, hey, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. There's art for a hologram and musician collection out there. It's somewhere. And now we're just like, and a year before that, we're like, no, well, people were like, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. There's a Q collection. It took a while to see that. So there is art out there for that kind of thing, but we may not see it for some time. So.
Does WRG ever deliver guarantees in this game? I don't think so.
I mean, can they?
I have been told on many occasions. They do not want to. Unlike other mobile games, they will not commit to a roadmap.
I've also been told they deliver accurate traits to the crew that they provide. So
I have also been told this.
Right, let's spin.
I've been told they also merge code on a regular basis, but I don't know about that.
I think it's a euphemism. Okay, this one's a bit of a no-brainer. We will spin again very quickly. 0 stars on Barry Waddle, 0 stars on Gulma Dread, 2 stars on something Kira. I forget which one that is.
Disguised.
Oh, it's just not Breen disguised, regular, just vanilla disguised.
It's just normal disguised. This is your brain on disguised Kira.
Two things. First of all, I think Gulma Dread is probably one of the crews benefited the most from this collection push, because he was a completely useless crew maybe like a year ago. He is in a Cardassian veteran survivalist, and they all need several golds. You could use them for that. Very new player could use a little bit for Gauntlet. And his flavor is fantastic. A Cardassian interrogator, Gulma Dread, was tasked with collecting the defensive plans for Minos Corva from Captain Picard. This is a long flavor. If you don't... The Minos Corva, you guys always pronounce it with the Patrick Stewart, well, you guys are British anyway. I always pronounce it with Minos Corva.
What do you mean,
right?
you guys? You people.
You filthy Brits.
You colonialists.
So, I mean, this is a really flavorful crew, and played by a great actor, did a great job. So I have a soft spot for him. I wouldn't recommend taking him. Barry Waddle's a mensch. He's an uber mensch, but
he's Barry. It's always been Barry.
It's Barry.
Little piece of cheese. Right. Spin it. I'm just going to do these until you guys want to go to bed, so...
I got another, 20 minutes in me.
That's fine. Okay. Oh, fuck, that's what the dub round. 0 stars on Ushan Archer, 0 stars on Interface LaForge, and 0 stars on Conditioned LaForge. It is the LaForge... LaForge.
You should have swapped Interfaced and Archer.
Yeah, no, that way he would be like, no, watch out, other me. You're about to get stabbed.
Yeah. So... The real question is, why are you not taking Archer?
because he sucks and he's Archer. Literally, the only thing he has to his name is like the pilot and explorer traits. I think he has like one gauntlet roll that's mildly okay at best, but he's garbage.
You can
best thing
unlock
about him,
the pilot security node with 1 star. Thank you very much.
that's 1 star wasted. So I think you can do that with a 4 out of 4 Ambo Jitsu Riker. We're not saying he's any good either.
If I can go back in the Wayback Machine, 2018, when they added skirmishes to the game, Interface of Forge was one of the first rewards for skirmishes. He was a baller back then, and 3 years later, he's still a baller. Like, yeah, you cannot have a certain power level after 3 years, granted, but he's usable every once in a while in the gauntlet. Let me check. He has 2 45%ers. He can best. He's one of the few crew who can best Red Angel when he has that crit level. He's still good in voyages. Geordi gets events, even though he's not the most eventable out there, and he has a couple traits: Communicator, Hero, Cyberneticist, that could all expand his value in collections as well. So I think it's kind of the slam dunk crew. If the others were both 4 or 5 and he was 0 or 5, I'd still have to think about it because I think he's very, very good all rounder.
Yeah, a prisoner. What is it? Yeah, like what is his actual name? Conditioned Forge. Yeah, that's what I was like. Prisoner of the Forge. No, that's not right. He's pretty cool. I would take him just for the art. I love the art is really, really cool. The shadowing is awesome, but I don't think he's quite held up as well as his interface counterpart.
That's the one where he's interrogated by the Romulans, isn't it? What was the episode name?
Yeah, and Manchurian. Well, it might as well be called the Manchurian Candidate. The Mind's Eye?
Saboteur trait for DC Pilot. He likes that trait. So.
Yeah, I believe it's called the Mind's Eye.
Mind's Eye, that's the one. Yeah. You sort of get the first sort of Geordie vision, don't you? Oh no, that's the season 1 episode. Where do you get that? Yeah. Anyway, spin it.
Yeah. Season 1 where he beams on the Klingon freighter, and
I watched that one recently. Anyway. That wasn't a bad episode.
Stars has the power.
He does. Okay. 0 stars on Away Team Burnham, 0 stars on Elizabeth Dana, or 4 stars on Mira Zephyrin Cochrane. Interesting. Ooh, people
that is the right
Cochrane.
cock.
That is the right cock, yes. He is on the right. He is Cochrane.
Yes, he has a lot of traits. That cock. That cock is it's
well endowed
about this
traits,
long.
You would say.
It's about this long and this wide.
This thick. If you're gonna quote Wesley, get it right down.
Oh, we're talking about the shotgun. Okay, don't worry, got it. Right.
Okay.
I was gonna ask if Roy Kirk was in chat. A noted original series lover. I would really love original series Cochrane in game because he's the one that the movie Cochrane and the Enterprise Cochrane was based on. He was like the originator. So I would like original series Cochrane with whatever that, I forget what the entity is called. The companion. The companion, right. That's a really, I mean, aside from the obligatory outdated 60s sexism against against
the older woman, I believe, who's there. Yeah,
the female character there, and fuck me for forgetting the name, but the Cochrane's a cool character, so I would love to see that in game. That being said, the tie-in here is Mira Zephyrin Cochrane. Besides being at 4 stars, I'm all aboard. Choo-choo, the trait train. So human, civilian, warp theorist, innovator, cultural figure, inspiring, mirror universe, brutal, Terran Empire pilot, thief. That's a whole lot of traits.
Well, if you finish it right now, you could use them in the Mega.
That's true. Culture figure. So he's already got 4 traits. If you came to me from the future and said, "Hey, next year he has 8 traits or 8 collections," I'd say, okay, I believe you. So,
however, would you take that over a 1st star and a usable at 1st star on Away Team Burnham?
Almost.
Nearly.
I almost got you. I feel like Away Team Burnham is a bit of a luxury pick here, honestly. A lot of what she does can be replicated by either Gary Seven or Gangster Spock. and I say that as someone who uses her quite regularly, but she is not massively unique in that respect. And a lot of her other niches have been taken because as a Burnham, she's outbested by Courier in terms of having a better sec base. I think she has like the one collection of Survivalist, so she does have some value, and I don't think she'll voyage for you anymore. I wouldn't think so.
Stars and Garters, you have shocked me because we've had conversation before where you said you prefer her very clearly to Gary 7 in the sort of Sexi Gauntlet ranks. So, are you playing devil's advocate here or what?
Maybe I'm just inconsistent and stupid. Have you considered?
All right, let me expand her gauntlet tab here. 2 45% gauntlets, 14 at 25%. So basically anytime she has elevated crit, you're going to want to take her. She's very good in gauntlet. She gets plenty of events, even though her bases are not so good, and maybe right on the edge of usable for Voyage, because Sexi is not an easy stack, but you would need all 5 stars. So another good all-rounder, sort of similar to Fury Kess in that regard.
Actually, I am downplaying how good she is in Gauntlet. I do still use her on the reg, but it's just a case of, in this particular situation, I would be hard-pressed not to finish off Mira Cochrane in exchange for what would be on my roster a marginal improvement on my Gauntlet, because fuck Gauntlet.
Yeah, that is a valid argument, actually.
Chat is going to have to save us here, so let me read off the answers. Finish Mir Cochrane, finish Cochrane, take the star. Culture Figure Cochrane, that cock has a big gun. First star on Away Team Burnham for Gauntlet. Mir Cochrane, do it for a 5/5 cultural figure. So
if you just said this a year ago, if we'd had this a year ago, exact same beholder, it would have been Burnham all the way. It's amazing how much it has shifted towards Cochrane.
You could still just keep Cochrane around to save your keister from a really bad behold in the future. Because a first star on Burnham,
if you're saying that,
it's not bad.
Behold insurance plus fuck Gauntlet means take Dana.
What?
There we go. That's it.
How did we left turn into Dana?
That's what everyone says. Spin it again. We'll do one more.
I'm gonna do this for stars because I know he likes it. Danner, Batman.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
No, that's too easy. What a good one. Okay, this is a good one.
Put it on.
There we go.
Put it on bio.
Okay, 0 stars on Compromised Arium, 0 stars on Scrooge Data, and 0 stars on Control Leland. This is an interesting one because there's Voyage Power, there is Event Ability, and there's collection value in each one of these cards.
So Compromised Arium is basically just a collection piece. There's not much else value to her, especially because she got flushed out in airlock, so she's not like getting a lot of events later on. Leland is another raw power voyager like Kira or Picard, but unlike Kira or Picard, he is also dead, so
I think he's
not going to be any more events.
He's starting to sort of go down ratings. He's sort of Luau Q and Klingon West have sort of knocked his sales. Breen decides Kira Sahil as well. They've all kind of clipped his wings a little bit lately, so...
Yeah, I would say unboosted, his rank is 39. If I'm looking at long-term investments, I want to look at their unboosted score because they're going to fluctuate month to month. So right on the edge of top 40 when we just had Sahil and Luau Q and a couple other Command of Suck crew, it's like, is he going to start getting control events? No. Are Discovery Megas going to make a comeback? Probably not. So...
I'm thinking there's other tricks like Spy and Undercover Operative.
Brutal Control Crafty, Undercover Operative, Section 31. So
he must have folded into Undercover Operative then.
He's done okay for himself, and he's got good bases, but it's kind of a crapshoot. He's mostly a Voyage piece.
Yeah, I'd probably go for Data here then, because you get Costume, you get Android, you get Data events. And I don't believe there's a massive amount of data diplomacy apart from Prospero data or the really rancid emotion chip data. So he fills that niche as well. I don't think he voyages as much anymore, especially with that skill set. But
yeah, I was going to say, look at his triplet ratings. He is quite far down on that. I mean, people sort of above him. We're looking at Age of Sail, Picard, Tenevik, Socrates, Ancient Humanoid, Human Saru.
He's also got 3 collections on his own already.
Yeah. Yeah. I like him because he's the answer to Tilly this week in the campaign. He was the first original sort of gold campaign. I kind of always love him for that. I love the thematic of bringing out Scrooge data at Christmas. I will never forget that. I think that was brilliant, and it's like moments like that in this game I quite like. So.
Also, I feel like his art is a little bit underrated because if you look at it, find some
the finery on the smoking jacket, a dressing gown rather, is really lovely.
Is that the same dressing gown he wears at the end of Picard?
No,
is it not?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
It's a very similar jacket, but I don't think so.
If you can find his art someplace other than a little phone screen like Datacore or the Big Book, that's where I'm looking at him. You can.
Sorry, what are you looking at? His art on the Big Book?
You can zoom in. It's actually pretty good. Data's done okay if you think about Carlos Data as another top shelf art name. So, also apropos of nothing, I've been campaigning for him to get the artist trait on a few characters. Data the Fifth, Scrooge Data. He's putting on performances for Picard. He's a studied method actor.
I feel like you would want to draw a distinct. I feel like you will. I think of something a bit more interesting. Either thespian or dramatist would be fun. I think those would be a decent distinction.
Well,
because it is different to artists.
Performer.
We have musician, and then artist sort of has to encompass everything else.
Performer works well because you could do performer for like Orion Vina, things like that.
Performer crosses too much into musician.
True.
Well,
yeah.
Maybe.
I'd rather have just dancer or something like that, or
Yes, Orion stonks on the right.
Private dancer for money.
Anyways, you have a couple of choices there, so that's a good behold.
A very good behold. I think it's time for us to be on our merry way. Please come and join the Discord as usual, and join all our fun games that we have there. Lots of chat about. If you're interested about sort of pinging things about Event Crew, if you have any idea about any questions about how to rank in factions or anything like that, we've got a team of helpful people over there that love to answer questions or take the piss out of you for not knowing. Either way, they will do that.
Cairo47, I believe in you.
Yes,
bro.
you can do it. Come and have a chat with us.
You can win the ranked event. You're a smart guy. You're an active player. I know you can do it. So
Auto here has been on chat with Martin at one point, trying to get him the top 3 finish. Literally being in voice chat in the final moments, getting like, right, run your boost now. And I think there are people that can definitely help you get a legendary finish. So yeah.
What's the opposite of a life? A life coach helps you improve your life and how you feel about yourself. An event coach is like the opposite. You forgo your life for the entire weekend in order to rank highly.
Drain your life. Yeah.
I think it's called a cult.
We're not that bad.
So yes, next week we'll be back for another Timelines Talks, and after that we will be doing a doc show and then the award show, which I'm very much looking forward to. We'll be donning our suits and much more.
Oh God.
I have tentatively agreed to shade the head in the Doc balding pattern for the show. So I can't promise, but word. Something to look forward to.
So yes, we will see you then. For everyone else, we will see you next time. Bye bye. Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.